often starts with the run pass option that they had early on. And let's hear from Jason Garrett, brought to you by Pepsi, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
How we doing, guys?
Doing great. Obviously, it's only one game, Jason, but it has to feel good to get a blowout victory like this.
Yeah, it was a good win. It was a good win against a good team. It was a team win. Every phase contributed. Every phase played well throughout the game. 60-minute effort on offense, defense, and in the kicking game. Everybody was a part of it. We played the way we want to play. Made some really good stops defensively. Got them off the field on third down, and obviously we were able to run the ball and throw the ball the way we wanted to throughout the game. Offensively, did a good job cashing in on things. And second half, we took the ball away a little bit, and I thought that was a big part of the game, being able to sustain the lead and finish the way we want to finish.
Talk about Dak's impact tonight on the game as a runner, and just generally, how do you feel about his ability to run the ball and how you use that?
He's just a really good football player, and he can beat you so many different ways. I thought he threw the ball very well, very good decisions. Made a lot of little plays in the passing game, made some big plays in the passing game, cashed in on drives, really good poise in the pocket, used his feet in the pocket, used his feet to get out of the pocket, used his feet to extend plays, was very good on the design runs, and really was a huge factor in our success offensively throughout the ball game.
When he's effective running, especially early in games, maybe it settles him in the offense a little bit as far as its passing efficiency down the run.
Yeah, again, ever since he's been here, he's been a guy who's been able to make impact plays with his feet. Again, by design, but also when plays break down. But again, I thought he did really well throwing the ball in all phases of it. From the pocket, on time, in rhythm. Conviction on his throws vertically down the field. Guys made some good plays for him on the other end of it. And then again, he moved, used his feet to extend plays, make some really positive runs, but also extended some plays and made some plays down the field throwing the ball after he got out of the pocket. So he's been able to do that really throughout his career. Certainly did that today.
This defense is really coming together, and Van Der Esch had a breakout game this afternoon.
Yeah, again, on all three levels of our defense, I thought we did a good job. Starts up front with those guys. It's good to have a couple of those guys back in the lineup. I thought we had a good rotation against them, and we got off the field on third down, and that was big in this game. Third downs typically are a byproduct of first and second down. So, again, I thought we did a good job defending the run, putting them into some situations on third down that we could win. And Van Der Esch was all over the place. Thought the linebackers played well, seemed very active, did a good job in the back end, preventing big plays in the passing game.
Was there more of a concentrated effort to get Beasley the ball, or was this just taking advantage of what the Jacksonville defense gave you?
Yeah, Beasley is always a big part of what we do. He's a mismatched player in there, and made a lot of big plays for us. As the game wore on, he started getting a lot of attention from them, whether it was the nickel or the safety or the linebacker coming towards him. So he's that kind of a player. He typically wins in one-on-one situations. He's just a hard guy to guard and very quarterback friendly. So certainly a big part of what we're doing.
Well, you had great efficiency on third down today, Jason. Obviously, that has a lot to do with being ahead of the chains, as you like to say.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be good on first and second down to be into some third manageables. When we got into some longer third downs, we converted them. Guys protected well up front against a really good front. I mean, if you look at that defense, I don't know how many first-round picks they have, how many high second-round picks they have, how many high-priced free agents they have on all three levels of their defense. They're all over the place. That's why they've been as good a defense in football over the last couple of years. But our guys did a good job blocking them up front. And again, I thought we had a good mix of run and pass. We're able to make some plays down the field in critical moments.
Second half, can you talk about the challenge of wanting to stay aggressive but also be smart with the lead and clock?
That's it. You want to stay aggressive. You want to be who we are and keep attacking them a lot of different ways. They did a good job on that initial third down. I think they tackled Bees right short of the sticks on that one, so we had a 3-and-out early. But you just want to stay after them. You want to stay after them downhill. And again, the best part about what we did tonight, I thought we threw the ball effectively, we ran the ball effectively. So we just kind of wanted to continue to play the way we want to play. And I thought the two takeaways by the defense were big. We were able to cash in a field goal and touchdown on those. And again, a real team effort. Everybody playing off of each other, complementary football throughout.
You pride yourself on being able to be efficient on home or road, but this is a very crisp performance at home tonight, which you've done this season. Was just another example of this, of how you're playing better at home right now than
yeah, we have played well at home. In our 3 games, our 3 wins are here. We love playing in this stadium. We have great fans. They're supportive. They're behind us. It's a great environment to play in. But the best teams are able to go on the road too. We've been a good road team in the past, and we have a young team. We have to understand how to handle the conditions on the road and be effective and be able to execute in all three phases. So we'll have another challenge next week in Washington.
DeMarcus Lawrence didn't start tonight. Are you just managing him with that shoulder?
Yeah, he was going to play more situationally in this game. Some of the other guys played on the early downs. He played really consistently throughout on the passing situations, and again did a pretty good job. We use Randy Gregory in a similar fashion.
Him with the knee and Gregory with the shoulder. You just want to manage them right now until they
get back. We wanted to have a rotation. And, one of the real positive things is we were on the field a lot offensively in this game. I think we had almost 40 minutes of time of possession, and the defense was getting off the field. So there weren't that many snaps for all those guys, and we did want to have an 8-man rotation up front. It was good to see those guys out there.
Nabuzio's just used as a emergency situation.
Yeah, he's still, dealing with the ankle, wasn't able to practice fully, so AB played outside. Jordan Lewis played inside. In the nickel situation, those guys handled the work well.
Coach, how did David Irving look on his first game back?
Yeah, hard to know until we see the tape, but I'll tell you what, he looks like he's 11 feet tall out there, and he was in the backfield and penetrating, and it was great to see him out there. He worked hard this week to get himself ready to go, and he's a big part of what we want to do up front.
No doubt. Being able to accomplish what you did today, what does this make you feel like about the capabilities of this team offensively the rest of the season?
Yeah, just got to get back to work. And, again, over the course of the first 5 games, I thought we did some good things. We just didn't do them consistently well enough. And that's what you have to do. You have to be able to continue to run the football a lot of different ways. Teams are going to try to defend the run. They're not going to let us get going there. I thought we did a good job today being stubborn and continuing to run the football the way we wanted to run the ball, and then make the plays in the passing game. When you can attack them a lot of different ways, obviously you're that much more effective.
One of his first snaps was a quarterback pressure, so this is why we're patient, this is why we want you on
Yeah, David's a really good football player. He's a good young man. He is, and he's trying to do the right things off the field to get himself, back in and acclimated with our football team. He worked hard this week. We wanted to get him some snaps in this ball game as a rotational player. Looks like he showed up a little bit.
What do you think you did best today?
It was a great team effort. The mindset and the mentality of the team is outstanding. Just the way they come to work every day and practice and focus on what we need to do. And then, again, right from the start, set the physical tone for the game, execute it in all 3 phases. And it was just a tremendous team effort from start to finish.
Does it say a lot about this team, again, with everything swirling about where they are offensively now, what isn't working, for them to come out and be as efficient as they were tonight with all the questions?
Yeah, I think our team does a really good job staying locked in ourselves and what we need to do. So whatever noise you might be referring to, we never really get caught up in that. We just lock in and we come to work. And, it's a good young team. You try to instill that in these guys, and they've responded well to that. I think this week was a good indication of that.
How were you able to get Cole so involved in the passing game today?
Yeah, early on in the game, there's some good matchups that we wanted to take advantage of, and he's a really good player. He's a good player when they play zone because he can find holes in the zone. He's very quarterback friendly, and when they want to guard him man-to-man, he's a tough matchup for anybody. And, as that game wore on, they started to give him a lot of attention, 2 and 3 guys on every snap. So that's part of it, and then you have to get other guys involved when that happens. And I thought we did a good job of that as that game went on.
Swaim had a good game, too.
Yeah, we'll have to watch the tape with all of them, but Jeff's doing a good job for us. Asking him to do the fundamental things that you ask a tight end to do as a blocker. Show up in the passing game, and he continues to take advantage of his opportunities.
Dak had 11 carries today. Do you ever have a problem with him carrying the ball that much in a game?
I really don't. He carried the ball a lot in college, and that's one of the things you like about him. He can attack you a lot of different ways, and some of the runs that we have are runs that if you get a favorable look to hand it off, you hand it off, and if they're all stacked up in there, he can be a threat to run it. He made good decisions for the most part throughout the game, and again, when things broke down in the passing game, maybe he didn't have somebody right away or he had to get out of the pocket, he took advantage of those, used good judgment, made good decisions. Again, he's a really good football player.
Did you have more designed runs for him today than you had this season, or was it just the way Jacksonville was playing Elliott early that led to it?
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into scheme, but that's obviously a big part of what we've done since he's been with us.
What did you see on that 28-yard run he had where he almost got sacked and kind of spun out?
Playmaker.
You know, if you ask me about line one for that guy, it's who he is, the character of the guy, and how he handles himself on the field, off the field, through success, through adversity, and just how he competes. And, you know, he's a very talented guy. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic, he's flexible. He's a good passer, he's a good runner. But at the end of the day, what makes him the guy he is who he is, what his makeup, his character. And I think you see that on a play like that. Won't go down somehow, some way. He's going to keep the play alive and go do something good for your football team. And that's why guys follow him. That's why guys love him. He's an outstanding leader. Again, we're lucky to have him as our quarterback.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Good to see you.
Good stuff. Good stuff,
Jason
guys.
Garrett on the Dallas Cowboys postgame show. We'll hear what Jerry Jones had to say after this. Coming up next, you're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Yes, indeed. So as they go to commercial break, hey, it's a fantastic game. Thank everybody for tuning in to the nation. It's always a pleasure when we hit that W, especially at home. When we get that win at home, it's always a good feeling. Everybody, the traffic is polite, and the people in the offices are great and things like that. It's always a pleasure, guys. Thank those who've been following the channel. It is what it is. Those who've been with the channel for a long time, you guys know my name is Law Nation. I do have a podcast that's LAW Nation. It is what it is. We played a solid game, whether it be offensively or defensive wise. Played a sound game too. So it's still one of those things where we have to really stack these wins together and swing the momentum in our favor. Thank Mr. Chips for tuning in, and Joseph. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's in the chat box. Guys, it's possible. Like I said, I had this team going 10-6 for the year, but we still have to play the guys that's in front of us. The next game will be the Redskins, so not looking beyond the Redskins. This is a divisional game, and we just saw the Redskins. I think they won today, and they played a team that we lost to, so it's one of those games where we still have to be locked, loaded, and ready. Pay attention to be focused on the road. Divisional game. They have a stingy safety out there. They also have a guy that can man up and stick receivers too. His name is, I think he wore number 24. You guys know his name, Josh Norman. So we're going to have our hands full next week. And they have some linebackers that fly out to the ball. Zach, I think that's his name, and then they have the edge rushers. And 3-4 teams, I think they still play a version of a 3-4. Defense always give us fits because they athletic linebackers are able to corral and get to the ball and chase. So we're going to have our hands full next week. But haters going to hate. Yeah, and Netta, Taylor, don't let the haters rule you today. Right now, we got to bring in the positive energy, the positive vibes, and what we can do to get things going. It's one of those things where it's this week alone, we have to figure out how we can bounce back, hope those who are injured get back together, and see how we can get this win on top of wins. Don't know. You had a podcast. Yeah, Ace _ I do have a podcast. Just type in. I'm on iTunes. I'm on Google Play. I'm internationally known, boy. You better watch out. But I'm on every platform you can think of. Shout out to my sponsors for getting me together and having me on every outlook as possible to get my voice out there to the nation. So I really appreciate everybody. We got this week to relax and chill for a moment. Those who are sitting on the edge, now they can back a little bit. Those who was at the edge of the seats with Dak Prescott, they can back a little bit. It's different when you're utilizing what you can do best. And that's all it takes. What can you do best? Okay? Dak Prescott just run better with his legs. Sometimes you don't have to throw the ball all the time. You can utilize and win games with your legs. So that's what they did this game. They utilized the running attack with the legs. And it kind of made the defensive backs, because think about it. Jacksonville Jaguars are designed to stop the pass, not the run. They built to stop the pass. Most teams that they play are pass-friendly football teams. So we hit them against the mouth, hit them right up in the mouth, and they was like, oh, wait a minute, you going to run it at me again? We're going to stop it. But the outside guys got lazy in certain factors because they wasn't really used to looking their eyes down the backfield and still worrying about Ezekiel Elliott. So let's see if they're back on now. Appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Irvin sitting out there with Collins at the same time in that second group that came in on the basic rotation that we had in our defensive line. So really feel they feel good about it. They should. They work to get this. Coaching staff should too.
On your list of birthday wishes, happy birthday, by the way.
Well, that was
how high is this on the list?
Of course. I guess I'd bring about 5 or 10 of them off just like that, bam, week by week, and give it up just to have that kind of feeling. But it was a great time. For our timing was just right for this team to play at this level. Obviously, Dak had an outstanding game. It felt good. I was sitting there watching the whole game, listening to Tony critique and go over a lot of what was going on. That felt good, and it was just a really great day there. And we have a lot of respect for that football team, so we know that we played against a good team.
With Dak and some run-pass options and zone reads and stuff, Dak as a runner, how much of a change was that, and how significant do you think that was?
Well, I think we saw the difference that it made. Their quarterback, his runs certainly could have compromised us, but Dak's runs, that just really gives that defense fits. But he was throwing the ball accurately today, making some great throws. Beasley was just outstanding as a receiver and as a playmaker, and those plays Beasley made were really significant, I thought, game changers.
That's Jerry Jones on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network. Along with former Dallas Cowboy Jesse Holley, I am Ari Temkin. Cowboys win 47.
And that's not you said it correctly. It's not a joke.
Do not adjust your radio. The Cowboys won. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 40-7, and we are in the Miller Lite Club here in the bowels of AT&T Stadium. To a silent, I guess, fan base that's not that excited about the third win of the season for the Dallas Cowboys as they improved to 3-3, Jesse.
Yeah, listen, we're still trying to put this thing together.
What happened?
The Cowboys, they had 23 first down. They controlled the ball for over 17 minutes more than the Jacksonville. That's over a quarter. They held the ball for over a quarter more than the Jacksonville Jaguars did today. And you heard Jerry Jones say in his post-game presser, how this team, it's an even-keeled team. They don't get too high of the wins, and they don't get too low with the losses. But if we're trying to find anything to nitpick about this game, because it's very few things.
It was a near-perfect game.
This team, in order for me to believe, in order for this 40-point win to mean something, in order for me to believe in this 40-point win, and believe that this team has turned a corner and had a revelation and really has figured this thing out, you have to go and put up another impressive performance. Now, I'm not asking for 40 points, but you have to go up to Washington next week, and you can't lay an egg. You can't go on the road next week and, struggle and look bad and all of a sudden lose your offensive creativeness and your execution and everything that we saw today. And this is the frustrating part about this team, Ari, is that we see the talent. We see players like Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott and Cole Beasley, and we see all this talent there. Yep. But then when we watch it on film and we watch it on the field, it looks like they've never played football during their life. Like they've just met each other yesterday and are trying to play a football game. And then they put this type of performance on tonight, and you're saying, where has this been?
But you're right. I mean, it's a great, inspiring win for a team that needed it. I mean, they absolutely devoured one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Listen,
but next week they go to Washington, and you're right. If this win means less if they can't rebound next week and get after it.
A lot of people lost money tonight. Like a lot. There's no way the margin was this big. 33 points?
Cowboys were +2, so they were getting 2 points.
Like, this is crazy.
And Conor McGregor was in the house.
Yeah.
And so the Cowboys did the Conor McGregor strut. We saw Zeke Elliott do it. We saw Dak Prescott do it with their celebrations.
He just lost. I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry.
I'm
being the negative Nancy,
no,
right?
No. I mean, he kind of.
I don't want to strut like a guy who just
watched what he just experienced. Did he not? I mean, the Cowboys just put the Jaguars in a chokehold.
The Jaguars
they tapped out.
The Jaguars
tapped out.
There were points in time in this game when you saw the Jaguars. They quit. They didn't want to
McGregor's
play.
watching this game like the Spider-Man, meme,
pointing right back.
Like, oh, this is just like the fight that I just was in.
This looks familiar. I don't know if I want to strut like a guy who just got choked out. That's me. That's Jesse Holley. That doesn't mean that those guys are wrong for doing it. But I don't want to strut like a guy who just got choked out. But more power to all the Cowboys. But this is the great thing about being a Dallas Cowboy. You never know who's coming to this game. Everybody wants to be a part of this machine. This is one of the biggest machines when you talk about media and visibility and notoriety. This is one of the biggest machines, not only in sports, but in the world. In the world. Anything that has to do with media type relation stuff. So people want to be connected.
Right.
Conor McGregor's a Cowboy fan now?
Jerry's got to invite him out every week, yes?
Right.
Now
Jerry, he's in Ireland, fly your plane out and be like, come on, Connor, let's get in the plane, we'll go.
Now
he's got to be in every single game.
He has to be in every single game in every single city so they can strut the way they strutted, like they strutted today. So, but again, this is what the Dallas Cowboys brings. It brings the celebrities, it brings the stars, it brings all the people with the names out to the sidelines.
Yeah, here was Jerry Jones on Conor McGregor's appearance at his stadium.
He was inspirational. He visited with several members of the team on the field before the game, and I thought he was inspirational. He just energized every place he went in the stadium. You'd like to say we're going to have to get him in here for every game in order to have a good first half at least.
Based on what you just said, it's kind of funny to view him as inspirational.
Right.
Just got choked out. But, he's still a pretty big celebrity, and he's had a lot of success in his career. And
Conor's a huge celebrity. Yeah. He's a huge celebrity.
The notorious MMA.
Everybody watches his fights, whether you root for him or root against him. And that's the way there are some similarities here with Conor McGregor and the Dallas Cowboys. Some people may say Conor's overrated and talks too much. Some people may say the Cowboys are overrated and kind of is talked about too much. There's some history. There are some very, very eerie similarities to what the Cowboys are, what Conor McGregor is. He's much watched TV. Whenever Conor McGregor's on TV, you tune in. Whether it's a press conference, whether it's a fight, whatever it is he's a part of, you tune in. Well, Dallas Cowboys, no matter what they do, we saw it in the month of September. They top the 15 or 19 top TV shows of the month of September. Yep. 4 of them were Dallas Cowboys. The number 1 was a Dallas Cowboy show, a Dallas Cowboy game. So he's much watched TV. The Cowboys are much watched TV. There may be a match made in heaven right here. If the Cowboys are gonna play, they played today. You get Conor McGregor out to every single practice, film session. Get him in the lunchroom.
He doesn't have to do anything else, right? He's not getting ready for any fights.
No, not right now. He's suspended, right? Didn't they suspend him?
We'll wait and see on that. 40-7, the Cowboys win. We're going to wait to hear from Dak Prescott here momentarily.
Call us.
877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. Is it just as simple as the read option was working? And so, they couldn't stop it, and that's really what set the tone. It opened up everything for the Cowboys.
The Cowboys got into a rhythm early into the game.
They did.
And when you're able to get into the rhythm, we killed Jason Garrett about the first 15 plays. And that's what that's
for. The scripted first 15 plays.
The scripted first 15 plays. Most coaches in the National Football League, they come into a game with a script. And they say the first 15 plays that we've practiced and worked on in practice, we feel good about them. The quarterback likes them. We like them.
Yeah.
And so what they want to do is they said this is going to be the tone setter for what we do. And they're going to try to come in. And now sometimes they don't necessarily run them in order, but they will run them in some sort of a rhythmic type way. And now once you get a feeling of what's working, what's not working, then you can go to your big play sheet and say, here are the plays that were working, and here are the other ones we have in that realm, like that one that we can go to. Different formations, different parts of the field where you can still run some of the same stuff and get that to work for your team. The Cowboys came out today, got into an early rhythm, got the good sweat going, had some success early in the game, and when you get that, now you have the other team back on their heels, and you're able to go out there and execute the plays that you want to execute. They didn't get behind the chains. Sometimes they did, but they didn't get behind in the chains, and that allows you to go out there and play comfortable, mistake-free football.
7 different receivers caught a pass today, and 5 of them only caught 1 pass. So Cole Beasley had 9 receptions, Jeff Swaim had 2, but there's 5 other guys that caught passes and only caught 1 pass. And it's funny because sometimes you look at a box score, you can't really know what happened in the game, but one number that seems to be so important for the success of this team is how many different receivers catch a pass. They are so much better when Dak Prescott's able to spread the ball around. While we await Dak Prescott, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, indeed. So, spread the wealth. They went for it on 4th down. I see you out there, Sheila Neal. Thank you for tuning in. They did a good job out there. Yeah, so we're going to figure out how this team can continue to be consistent. And, of course, I do like Conor McGregor's speech, whatever he told the Cowboys guys out there. Something about when you hear a different voice makes everybody play well, especially when you're out there on the sideline.
Huge pieces of this game, Jesse, was a 4th down call from Jason Garrett in the first half, and a 4th down call maybe was more special in the second half, a 4th and 1 from the opponent's 42-yard line. But a couple of how's it going, guys? Kind of moments for Jason Garrett today. 2 calls for it on 4th and 1 to go for it.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to go for it on 4th and 1 when you're up 25 points. Man. There's no pressure there. You don't have to worry about dropping the coconuts from the tree on that one. That one's a lot more laid back and easy.
I think his first one was a little bit closer. It might have been 17-0 at that point.
It's still a lot easier to call that. And the thing is, when you're a coach, and even after that game in Houston, you heard Jerry Jones come out and say, we were getting beat in that game. You can feel the vibe of this game. At no point in time in this game did you feel a level of concern for the Cowboys.
It's crazy. I mean, they walked over them like this was the 2016 Jaguars, or the 2015 Jaguars, or the 2014 Jaguars, or the 2013 Jaguars.
And that's what made it so head-scratching. Because coming into this game, you just thought that this Jaguar defense was going to do something to make this game more difficult.
I mean, the offensive line, and granted, the offensive line hasn't been great, but it's certainly been, I think, some of the least of the Cowboys' problems on offense. I mean, they dominated a really, really good defensive front.
Calais
we
Campbell,
know it starts up front.
Malik Jackson.
And Ngakoue.
They have some really good, you heard Jason Garrett say, some first-round talent, high-priced free agents, good football players on that front line and that front 7.
Marcel Darius and Dante Fowler Jr. I mean,
those are
it's one of the best defensive lines in the NFL, and the offensive line, who's been much maligned this season, they dominated this game.
They did. And these are the type of games where I talk about the mirror games. These guys, they look themselves in the mirror, and you have to have some sense of pride. You have to look yourself in the face and go, man, listen, I didn't perform last week well. We didn't perform well last week.
Yep.
If we go out here in front of our home fans and lay another egg, this locker room is lost. So guys take pride in that. They take pride. They hear us. You don't think they hear us? They hear the radio shows.
Oh, totally.
Even
if they try not to.
They see the Twitter accounts. Jordan Lewis came out this week and said, I'm going to roll up on some of y'all at y'all jobs at the plant and cuss some of y'all out for not doing your jobs right. So they hear all of these things, man. They aren't averse to those, and when they hear it, they come out and perform.
All right, here's a very happy Dak Prescott with a maroon bow tie.
Nice suit.
Loved running today.
They gave me the opportunity to. Obviously we got a couple of good pull reads in, bitings down. Was able to go. Guys did a great job blocking on perimeter. Then other than that, they're playing man coverage and able to get out of the pocket and have some green grass and just have success at it.
Dak, what impact do you feel your running had on the game today? And when you're able to run that effectively early, does it allow you to get to some things in your passing game?
Yeah, I think it just opened everything up. As I said, some of it was called runs and just read options, and the end gave us the read to keep it, and then a couple of them were just man-to-man protection or man-to-man coverage, and the protection was solid and able to get out of the pocket and make them pay. So at that point, they needed to get a spy guy or make some adjustments on their part, and just opened up everything for our offense.
You had a couple of double dribbles that you feel that was your day when those balls bounced right into your hands, those fumbles.
The way they both, I kind of lost both of them. I kind of knew that was a simple bounce up. So, it's just important to stay calm in those moments and don't get to diving and, able to get some fortunate bounce.
How good does it feel for the offense to control this game like you did today?
Yeah, it felt great. Just to be out there, time possession, keeping the ball like we did, keeping the defense, keeping the defense energized and off the field. Definitely just helped the team and allowed us to play great complementary football, something that we hadn't been doing this season.
How much does this team need, not just to win, but a performance like that?
It was huge. As I said, I mean, it was huge from the point of complementary football. It's definitely the best we've played from executing on offense and making taking advantage of when the defense giving us turnovers in good field position. We're just feeding off of each other, and we felt it early. I don't know if it was Conor McGregor or whatever it was, but we came out and attacked, and it was a great win.
What does it say about this group, especially offensively, with as poorly as you've played overall leading up to this game and some of the questions going around outside, that you have this level of performance as a group?
Yeah, we haven't questioned anything inside. We leave the questioning to y'all. We've known from I've told y'all from after the first week or second week that we weren't doing as well or performing to our standards, that we're 1, 2, 3 plays away. The difference was the night we made those plays, and we still missed a deep ball here, missed a play there that just allows this offense to be that more explosive. So, I mean, we know what we have, we know what we've got, so it's important us to just stick together, stay confident, and know the team that we have. And it was great to go out there and put it on display.
That connection with Beasley, can you talk about that and why that's so good for you?
Yeah, I mean, Beasley's a guy that we've just always had a good connection. A guy that just played quarterback back in the day, so he has a great feel for coverages and man-to-man and knowing how to get open. We knew we were going to have some opportunities against these guys, and he went out there and did a great job. We did a great job game planning all week long for that, and he was excited. Talked about it all week long, how he was going to have a big week. So it was great for him to come out here and do that.
He was fired up to go against that secondary?
Yeah, he was. I mean, from Tuesday on, I mean, he was fired up. He's texting me late Friday night. He was taking care of his body. You could just tell. I mean, it was just an energy. He was ready to go. He was preparing to have a big game, and that's exactly what he did.
Why did you know you'd have some opportunities based on how they played?
Yeah, I mean, just man-to-man. We like that matchup. Bees, I mean, against Patman, it was just a matchup that we wanted to take advantage of. I mean, any time that we want to take that matchup with Beasley, but he just went out there and did a great job at it tonight. As I said, he prepared for it.
You talk about your 15-yard, the touchdown run early, and then also the 28-yarder in the second half after you got hit by Collins and spun around. Both of those runs, can you talk about what you saw, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, the first one was a called run. I mean, it was after we thought it was a touchdown. Right there, it was great for the offense to come back and respond. Not to get down at it wasn't a touchdown, but I got the right read. Credit to the guys out there blocking. Blake Jarwin made the block and the play of the game right there, taking on his guy, cracking, and then also getting the safety, just giving me an opportunity. I mean, I was untouched, so that was just me running. Credit to all those other guys. And then, as you said, later in the game, it was man-to-man, pockets kind of getting tight, able to spin out of it, keep my balance, and at that point, receivers have been winning all night, so guys were playing tight coverage on them and just allowed me to have open field and run.
What does this big win tonight do for the team offensively as far as where you feel like you can go from here now, Dak?
Yeah, I mean, it's just
one day at a day, one game at a time,
or says what we knew. And it just allows us to take momentum, grow with this, and take this confidence builder, and just continue to get better and better, as I said, and then go make those plays that we didn't make tonight. Go get touchdowns in the red zone, and we can still be better.
You ran the ball 11 times tonight. You comfortable with that number?
Yeah, I'm great. I mean, I don't think that's a big number. I mean, especially when the cases we're talking. I mean, a couple of them untouched, nakeds here and there, just getting out of bounds, whatever it takes.
Quarterback power on it's a second and one, a third and one.
I
thought I got it. I thought I dove and got it.
Yeah, he got it.
This offense has been better at home than on the road.
You know, I don't know. It's something that we've got to figure out, and we've got to figure out before we go on the road next week. So right now we're going to take this win, learn from it, get better from our mistakes and the things that we did well, and figure out what we've got to do to make sure that we continue with this momentum on the road next week and not play this way we've been playing on the road.
You got a special guest here. Can you talk about him?
Oh, man, yeah. So many words I can say. I mean, obviously thankful for this guy. I mean, I know I wouldn't be in this position, Coach going without him. So, I mean, thankfully he came. He told me he was coming in the game. Wore my somewhat red, bow tie. And just he told me all I need to do, go out there and be myself, trusting my teammates, and that's what we're able to do tonight. I'm glad he's here.
You mentioned Conor McGregor being here. I saw you even pulled out a little bit of the strut yourself there. What was that like having him on the sideline before the game?
Yeah, it was cool. A bunch of those guys are fans. I mean, we watched the fight a couple of weeks ago, so I mean, a bunch of us are fans and what he does, and just to see the guy out there supporting us or here, marketing for himself, whatever his purpose was. We used it for our advantage. So it was good to see. Good to see that, and all the guys had fun doing his strutting and all that.
What do you say to you guys? I mean, if you can say what he said to you guys.
I didn't talk to him. I mean, I just saw him there on the sideline before the game. I'm kind of in the zone. I mean, it was cool to see him. Didn't necessarily get some words. I think some guys did. But as I said, it was just cool to have him here.
Did you have some new shoes made for this game? And if so, were they any different from what
No,
you
I
had?
didn't have any new shoes, no.
No shoes?
Unfortunate, nope.
Thank you, guys.
You appreciate it.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Dak Prescott joining the
Ezekiel
Dallas Cowboys postgame show.
Next.
Your phone calls at 877-881-1053. Plus, we'll hear from Zeke Elliott coming up next. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
Yes,
Is your workplace
indeed,
on top of its game? For 100 years, Pollock has been
let's
taking care of business.
Shut this commercial down. Yes. So it's one of those things, man. Break out the champagne bottles and the Hennessy, man. Let's get this thing going one way or another. Let's roll with it. Let's ride with it. Let's go. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button, share this content, subscribe to the channel, join the notification squad, man. Those are the orders of the laws, man. Appreciate you guys, man, for tuning in, rolling with me, being optimistic, you know what I'm saying, having a positive mindset. I told most of you guys what was going to happen. It just takes time for this young team. This still is the young team. Shout out to Deion Sanders that's in the chat box. It's still a young team. We're looking at this team being like the third or the fourth youngest team in the league. And then on top of that, if you add in the fact that the Dallas Cowboys also, and I mean also, got a new center in the league, we're fresh to the team as far as where we missing Travis Frederick at. Shout out to Jay Farm too. April Standing, salute to you. Maryland, I don't know. But we got a young team. This team is super young, and we got a long way to go. You know, this is just one game. We already know, we already understand what we up against, and we got to continue to fight. We got to continue to fight. What else was I going to say? I was going to say I'm finna tune into this game right here, the Patriots versus the Chiefs. But we're going to see down the line of what they're going to be doing. Hey, I'm already drunk. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all can get drunk tonight. Got my Hennessy on ice. That's what I'm talking about, Mr. Chips. Yeah, let's pull that hen dog up. Don't drink no Crown. Crown get you too much down. Let's get that hen in you, man. Let's go. Let's roll with it, man. Hey, hen, if y'all want to sponsor me, shout out to me, man. Somebody retweet hen. Shout out to Joseph, man. Thank you for tuning in. Sean Lee is hungry. Sean Lee is being one hell of a good coach right now, you know. Cold Milk 72, man. Shout out to you and your entire family, man. Bud Light. Yeah, Bud Light. Shout out to Bud Light, but man, you got to have you a Corona here and there. So we're going to have to see if we can put these wins back to back. Let me see how many people we got on the YouTube universe, man. I got to figure out how many people we got live, you know. See if I still want to continue to do this thing. 321 people on the YouTube live right now watching me, man. Put down where y'all from, man. Where y'all watch the game from. Put that down in the inbox. Yes, put that down in there, man. Gallup could have had him a nice little touchdown. Couldn't get that left foot down, man. If he can get that left foot down. Yeah, let's see what they talking about now, man, on the
Miller
Nation.
Lite Club here at AT&T Stadium. Cowboys win 40-7. We're brought to you by
40.
Academy
40.
Sports and Outdoors.
Put
Yes,
40
Jesse?
of
40.
40 days, 40 nights.
40. Not
On the
39.
Jaguars.
40.
And not like the Jaguars any other year, you know, Jaguars. Like the number one defense in the NFL, Jaguars. We're brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, a store with top brands like
Ain't
Adidas,
number one no
Shimano,
more.
Rawlings,
With that
Columbia,
40 on
all at guaranteed prices like you've
Yeah,
never
April,
seen.
we live like
Visit in-store
95.
or at Academy.
Shout out to the Paul Masson.
877-881-1053. Let's go to the phones. Scott is in Jersey, and he's been on hold the
Scott.
whole time. Scott, go ahead. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
What's up, Scott, man? You are consistent,
Hey guys,
Scott,
what's going
man.
on?
Every week,
It's
I
always
love
good
you.
to call after a win. I got 2 good points tonight. My first point is we definitely have the best offensive and defensive line in all of the NFL. Correct? Do you agree with that?
I don't
This
agree.
week,
I don't,
yes.
I don't agree with that.
This week, yes, absolutely.
And listen, when we get Sean Lee back, we're going to have the best offensive, if not offense, maybe one or two, best defensive line, best linebackers in all of the NFL.
Appreciate the phone call, Scott. Thank you very much.
Scott, don't.
Interesting question. So the Cowboys run a lot of nickel, right?
Yes.
And they only have 2 linebackers on the field when they do that. And they've
Correct.
had a lot of success with Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch.
Vander Esch, yeah.
Sean Lee comes back.
Anchorage, Alaska.
What are you doing?
You go with the young guns. You go with the young guns. Now, knowledge-wise, neither one of those guys, if you put their brains together, they don't have more knowledge than Sean Lee.
Not even close.
But Sean Lee dreams about being athletic as those two guys.
Right.
And what you have
True.
now is you have 2 guys who are playing some pretty good football. And you have Sean Lee, who was a guy who's aging and whose body continues to fail him. So what you do is now you put Sean Lee back in the uniform when he's ready to play again. You find special moments for him to go out there and play. But you continue to...
Shout out to Fairborn for making the donation to help grow the nation. Appreciate you.
I don't see Sean Lee being on this football team next year.
No.
They drafted
You're right.
Leighton Vander Esch for purposes just like this and beyond. So you continue to allow Sean Lee to help them develop. You find ways to get him on the field in moments, but that also helps preserve his body so that he's not playing 50, 60 snaps a game, and these young guys are continuing to develop and learning, and Sean Lee can be almost – you see this in the NBA. When you look at – if you look at certain NBA rosters, you'll see guys like Juwan Howard still on the team. You're like, why is Juwan Howard still on the team?
Juwan Howard still playing?
Dirk Nowitzki. There's some of these veteran guys who were really good in their heyday, and teams will pay them $1 million, $2 million, just so they can have their presence in the locker room, on the practice court, and to be able to coach the young guys in a way that players understand it, because it's different when it comes from a coach.
Yes.
When it comes from Sean Lee, those guys' ears perk up, they listen, they respect him, and they know him like a big brother. So a guy like Sean Lee can bring a ton of value simply because of his knowledge of the game and him being able to teach these young guys. But I do think you see a lesser role of Sean Lee and more of these young guys playing.
Isn't that crazy?
True that.
I mean, every other year, Sean Lee goes down. It's like, when's he coming back? We need him back. They can't win. I mean, they were one for when Sean Lee misses games. And now we're at a point where it's like, well, when Sean Lee comes back, man, I guess you're not going to play him. 877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. Jad is in Plano. Go ahead, Jad. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Taking the call. First off, I just wanted to say I think Scott needs to calm it down a little bit with the best line on offense and defense.
Yeah, I don't know what Scott usually is a good dude. I don't know where that one came from.
That was good.
Shout out to Scott, though.
Do you guys think the Cowboys can keep up a solid run game next week and keep on incorporating Dak? And will they be able to get a win on the road?
Appreciate the phone call, Jad. That's the
got to get this win.
I mean,
on
it's
the
the
road.
huge
$1
question. I mean, you said it. Like, this win is huge. You beat this good of a defense at home, 40-7, but you have to win divisional games, right? Like, conference games are cool, or games against the opposing conference is cool, and it's fun to win when you beat good teams. But when it comes to the standings, making the playoffs, the only thing that matters, or the most important thing that matters, is those divisional games. And they've got a big one. They're 1-0 in the division so far. But they got a big one against another Jekyll and Hyde team in the Washington Redskins who beat a good team today.
And I'll tell you this, Ari, and I've been on record for saying this for years, even back to my time playing with the Cowboys. No matter how good or how bad a team is playing, I throw all of that out of the window when it's a divisional game. It's something about those divisional games where a team could be 0 forever. They're going to come out and play the best possible game they can. So when you go play your divisional opponent, don't think what they've done before, good, bad, or indifferent, is going to be the same thing you get in that game. That team's going to come and play. They're going to come and fight. They're going to come and claw because they know that despite what is going on outside of division, if I can get these divisional wins, then I better my chances at making the playoffs.
But I think, look, we talked about this last week on the postgame show. We talked about it on the pregame show today. Could Jason Garrett lose this locker room? And,
Jason
time
Garrett
and
got
again,
this
I think
locker
this
room.
team has hit that point, and his locker room response. We've criticized Jason Garrett as heavily as anybody else. But the one thing that you can say pretty confidently about Jason Garrett is this team does not ever quit on him. Ever.
No,
they don't.
Ever.
They don't. And they get to the brink. It seems like they get to the brink, and the locker rooms get ready to fracture and break, and then they come and put a performance out like this. So if there's one thing about Jason Garrett, and you were spot on about that, is that his ability to keep this locker room together and to keep these players motivated. And we laugh and we make jokes about it, but when he says Garrett guys, when he says, when he wants to flush out those guys who aren't willing to kind of quit, but also who don't want to buy into his system, because at the end of the day, that's the one thing that saves your job. When you're on the brink of losing your job, if you have players in the locker room that are ready to hang you out to dry, you can have those veteran guys sometimes influence the younger guys, and then now it's a trickle-down effect.
10 years ago, this happened in a locker room you were in, right?
Yes.
With Wade Phillips.
Right. And there were times in that there were points in that locker room before Wade Phillips lost his job. There were guys in that locker room who were shutting it down, who knew they weren't going to be here next year. I mean, we were like 7 games into the season, and guys were like, listen, calling up their people saying, hey, come get my car. Like, let's clean out the house. Let's move stuff to Florida. Let's go down to the vacation home in Florida because this is about to be over. We're not making the playoffs. And so I've witnessed that firsthand. We got to give Jason Garrett credit in that sense that these younger guys, and it's a young football team, right? The average age on this football team is 27 years old, 26 years old. It's a young football team.
Man?
So a lot of these guys,
fam,
they're buying into Jason Garrett. They're buying into what he's saying, and you're starting to see that because they have not quit.
I'm listening to your show, man. I'm listening to Jesse, Holly, and Ari. They doing their talk. It's funny how a win makes them change their tone, kind of, sort of. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to stand on no soapbox, and I ain't here to be grandiose vibes. I don't want to be told you so, guy. But now, all of a sudden, well, the Jason Garrett, I'll tell you what, something Jason Garrett's really good at is he can motivate. I'll tell you that. Y'all was just trying to get homie about the paint last week, dog. Nobody ever quits on Jason Garrett. People ask me every week, Bosh, why do you defend Jason Garrett? What did Jason Garrett do well? Boom, boom, boom. Blah, what'd I say? Those cats don't quit.
They don't quit on Jason Garrett, though.
I've seen people quit on Wade Phillips. We saw it. I know what it looks like. It happened in my time or whatever. You may have seen people quit on Switzer or Campo. That's more so your era. But I've seen people quit on Wade Phillips. Never seen nobody quit on Jason Garrett. If the team lines up and execute, if they do their job, we don't turn the ball over and we stay in front of the chains, we'll be fine. And that's what we did today. I'm here on the radio saying, we got the best offensive line in football. It was looking like it today. Well, Leal didn't get mixed up on gap exchanges. We didn't miss with our hands. We stayed square and we blocked the mic. On every live stream I've done, breaking down to all 22 since week 1, we've got to move A-gap. We've got to block the mic. That ain't nothing new.
And your son did good. Your son, number 52, his name wasn't even brought up today, so I love that. That means he did good.
Man, Connor Williams put hands all over them chairs today, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
But he's not going to get... My son, Michael Gallup, almost came down with a big hair from the flag.
Hey, you going to have another kid out there after a while, man.
Hey, man, what? Hey, man,
LVE.
Hey, man, look, dog. Me and Leighton Vanders had this very love-hate relationship. I wanted him to quit being so soft. You're looking like a grown man out there. I might claim my stepson as one of my own. You know what I mean? I tell you what, though, Sean Lee and that boy here, Sean Lee, you know what I'm saying? Sean Lee helping. And Jalen Smith, to be fair, Jalen Smith has always been cerebral guy. If you go back and watch his Notre Dame film, he was always cerebral, one step ahead of you guys. He just happened to be a super athlete too. Leighton Vanders is that same type of guy. He just happened to be a super athlete too. I'm excited, man. You know, I ain't really gonna talk about it too much. I'm gonna go home tonight and watch the broadcast view, and on Tuesday I'm gonna break down the all 22 with everybody. If you want to jump in, along, you know you're more than welcome.
Yeah, you're gonna do it Tuesday, so you know how that go. When you do it, just let me know, and I'll make sure I put the kid to bed early, and we'll see what we can do, man. Jump on that thing, man. Live Light 95. You know how that thing go.
Cool. I just wanted to jump on the radio and talk crazy because now all of a sudden Jason Garrett's a great motivator.
He is now. You know I had lost my faith in Jason Garrett.
Everybody want one of these young, lavish play callers or whatever. I mean, like, look at a guy like Pete Carroll. Like, he's not a great strategist. He's a great motivator. He motivates his guys, and he had a that same kind of guy. I can't wait to break down the film, man.
Man, me neither, man. I'm gonna live in that film. Hey, I saw that they respected Gallup after that big almost catch, no catch, though. They respected him, and they said, look, we're gonna designate a guy over him now.
You know what? I don't really want to cuss on your show.
Go ahead, man. Hell, I'm already pulled out the hen, dog. Go ahead.
Man, Dak saying, fuck it. I'm throwing that bitch, dog. Dak told me to let that thing go. And we see what happens when your quarterback can execute and throw with a little bit of confidence. Now all of a sudden, your offensive coordinator look great. He's not dialing up plays downfield. Dak just throwing that bitch downfield. And if something bad happens, Dak just got to live with it. As far as running, I don't want to see Dak run the whole game. But if Dak gonna run a little bit, hey, run when we need you. Run on third down. Run when we got to move the chains. I ain't mad at that. Run when it's wide open and slide. I ain't mad at that.
Hey, before you run, though, did you see Cole Beasley took Barry Church to church on a Sunday?
I got to see it. I got to see it, man. See, look, I was at the day job and I was up there with my patients, man. They was looking at me funny trying to see who I was talking to, but I saw Cole had two of them.
Man, they said, know what, Church? We gonna put Patman back on him. You know, we ain't gonna get you baptized in church. But I'm gonna see what your boy Pat Mahomes gonna do, man. They just kicked off against New England Patriots. So I'm really watching this game. It's on right now. So they just did a kickoff.
It's about to be magical. I tell you what, man. Something else funny too. You notice how like the first few weeks came on TV. Now they on all the primetime games. And then next week, Kansas City play Cincinnati. The damn Pittsburgh Steelers got bumped. So now Kansas City's gonna be the primetime game.
Damn, ain't that something?
Win, man.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah, we got next though. Jason Garrett, the GOAT. All of our VOCHLOMBARDI.
Salute,
Salute.
fam. Peace. Woo! Your boy just caught a pass. Josh Gordon. Boy, he's middy. Can you imagine Josh Gordon on his team? Oh, my God, man. Let's see what 105.3 The Fan is saying now. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to follow my guy, my brother from another mother, Voch Lombardi, VOCH Lombardi. That's where the party at.
Go back 30-something years when the Eagles had a dominant defense and they were simple. Mm-hmm. They were just so good at it. They did the same thing all the time. Danny White used to say he would rather play somebody with more talent like them because he knew what they were going to do than someone with less talent who was completely unpredictable and did something off the charts. So Jacksonville's been very good. They believe in what they do. It's worked until last week, and you can make a case for them having some bad luck last week. Interception for a touchdown on a screen pass. Ball bounces off the guard, gets picked off in the end zone.
Right.
They can't hide behind anything today. And the Cowboys felt that the scheme the Jaguars played allowed Dallas to get Cole Beasley singled up and allowed him to make some plays. Now, I do think that they, Babe said at the very beginning of the radio broadcast, we got to see the ball to go down the field. We got to get the quarterback outside the pocket and use his legs.
Yep.
And those things happen. And they haven't always happened. And, hopefully it's a lesson. Now, as we all know, Washington's going to watch that tape. Mm-hmm. And so the way Jacksonville played, Washington's not going to play. And the Cowboys probably are not going to score 40 points next week. But what they have showed, forget about us, what they've showed themselves is that they're capable of being
You're absolutely
as
right.
good an offensive football team as they have been in their good moments in the last couple of years. Oh, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Let's just go do it again.
And you've heard this, I've heard this before. This win
Shout out to Slots
only
Games.
matters if you can go out and get a victory next week, right?
Sure.
Because this team, we've questioned what they've been offensively all year long, averaging 16 points a game. This is an offensive outburst. And then now if you go up to Washington next week and lay an egg, it's a confusing thing because we've been asking for this. Dak Prescott rushed for 82 yards today, 11 carries for 82 yards. And to go back to what you were saying before with Cole Beasley, there was a matchup that they saw. It was a guy who was in camp with these guys before, on this team before, in Tyler Patman. And I guess Cole was like, listen, I beat this guy a lot in practice. And if they're going to go man-to-man with me, with Tyler Patman, we better abuse him.
Yeah, and they did. And the throws were good. That first deep throw to Gallup I mean, that's an announcement to me.
Yes.
We will throw it deep.
Yes.
We will catch it, and the throw will be accurate. And he can do that. We've seen him do that. I think the inaccuracy problems have been less on deep balls than they have been on intermediate stuff. And he just I think it's good for Dak to get in a rhythm, to let it fly, to have fun. And he said Linehan gave him a great speech last night and said, why do we do this? We do it because it was fun. And Garrett says that all the time. We started when we were 8 years old. Go do that. Go have fun and play for the guy next to you like you're supposed to do in football. Just go do that. And so they as each week mounted and things got worse and worse, then they put more pressure on themselves.
Man, they going for it, 4th and 3.
You're 100% right.
Patriots
It
don't
means
play.
nothing if they don't go back it up next week. But if they do, now they've got a road win, 2 in a row, conference win, might have a share of the lead, go into the bye. And the week of practice will be a little bit easier because you have a game like that.
You know, Brad, we were talking with Mickey before the game on the pregame show, and he mentioned, say what you will about Jason Garrett as a coach, but this team never quits on him, ever.
Ever.
And
ever.
They were back. I mean, again, this was a game where they quit on him after not going for it on 4th and 1 from his own, from the opponent's 42. Is it another chance? And it's like
I'm glad you brought that up because we talked about that last week on this show. And so we saw today twice the difference between what they were looking at today and what they were looking at last week. The 2 4th and 1s that they went for today and made were inches.
Yeah.
If it had been that distance in Houston, I guarantee you he'd have gone for it.
It was a short 4th and 1. It was a short 4th and 1.
No, get out of here, man. He just didn't go for
it. Of course it does. But,
Come on.
But yeah, 100%. But I guarantee you, I mean, this is the team that went for 4th down last year, second most in the league, only to Philadelphia. He's not afraid to do it. He looked at 1.5 yards. He had just had one of his best linemen not make a block to get the 3rd and 1. And he said, my defense is playing good. I'm going to punt. I don't have confidence in this now. But if it had been inches, guarantee you he would have gone for it. So, nonetheless, that can eat at guys. And I asked that question in the locker room during the week. Is everything okay in here? Not with a microphone, just away.
Right.
And they said, no, everything's okay in here. And so because he is the same guy, and the one mistake that a lot of us make, I think, is that people think that he is the same in a press conference as he is in the room. No, he's not even close.
And I remind people about that of my pot of coffee in New England.
Yeah.
When people see Bill Belichick in the media, I go, he's not like that in the hallway.
And do you know where Garrett gets it? He's copying Belichick.
Yeah.
He's seen Belichick, and he sees that's the best coach in the league, and that's what works for him. And Belichick takes that approach publicly, intentionally. There's a reason he does it. It doesn't do me any good. He told me this once. I'm like Belichick. It doesn't help my team for me to announce lineup changes or this or that. So that's what you're going to get from him at a press conference, but you make a mistake if you think that's who he is.
Yeah.
Brad, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoyed the call
Brad,
tonight.
you're reaching a little bit, Brad.
Next week.
Have a great week.
40 points, man.
40 points.
40 points
Holy
against the
cow.
top-ranked defense in terms of yards and the number 3 ranked defense in terms of points.
Somebody asked Jalen Ramsey what he thinks about it.
Brad Sham right here on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network. The Cowboys scored 83 points the first 5 games of the season. They managed nearly half of that tonight.
Wow.
83 total points coming in. They get 40 tonight and defeat the Jaguars 40-7. Your phone calls, your thoughts. We'll still hear from David Irving, Ezekiel Elliott a little bit later on. But Mickey Spagnola, DallasCowboys.com is next. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
I can't wait to hear Uncle Mickey, man. I know you guys can't wait to hear Uncle Mickey, man. I can't wait to hear what he gonna say. But, man, come on now. Jason Garrett won this game. Don't get it twisted. I love the fact that we won. But don't compare him to Bill Belichick. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Shout out to Slot Skins, man. God is down here, man. He's one of my I'm telling you, when I post a video, regardless of what I post, Slot Skin with an S, this guy give me all of the stats all of the down and out distance. I'm telling you, he does the extra work, and salute to him. I had to make him a moderator / admin on my channel. I got mad respect for him. You guys see him regulating. He got all of the facts, man. I'm telling you, whatever I post, this guy comes out with facts. So, guys, in order for you guys to earn like that little ranch little thing that I got, I'm country, so I say ranch. You know, ranch little thing, little gear thing. You got to be like Slots, man. Slot, man, I'm telling you, man, whatever I post on YouTube, he comes with the facts. I'm talking about he delivered the information that we all need to utilize. He puts down and shows support with like the links. He helps me out. He corrects me on things. He's not afraid to correct me. I like that. Matter of fact, I don't like it at all. I love it. And that's what I like about this full nation that we're growing with Cowboys Nation. Slot, if you ever in the Dallas metro area for a game, let me know. And I can figure out a way to get you in on the game. Maybe some VIP access, things like that. Just let me know. Hit me up. Whatever home game. Only a home game. I don't have to connect on the away games. But hit me up, fam. Appreciate you for tuning in to the nation. So with that being said, man, what a win. A win is a win is a win. Mahomes is still doing his thing, guys. This is scary. Mahomes is launching the ball, man. I'm watching the game, New England Patriots versus the KC. Mahomes is still doing his thing against New England Patriots. And he got them so shook that it was 4th and 3, and they were still able to go for it. The Patriots were able to go for it, although they didn't get it. So Kansas City Chiefs looking like the real deal. So it may be one of those things. It'll be crazy, Kansas City versus the Rams or what have you. But hopefully we can figure out a way to shake things off and stand on top of it down the line. But right now, Mahomes is the real deal. Shout out to Texas Tech, man. Shout out to Texas kid, right down the street from where we at right now. So he's doing his thing. It is what it is. Let me give shouts out to everybody before they bring in Mickey Spag. And also, I'm still waiting on the Ezekiel Elliott interview. Don't forget to reach out. Yeah, Brad Sham is reaching big time. Steve L. Dion Warren, thank you for tuning in. Brian Bradford, Julio, thank you for tuning in. Brandon, hey guys, go get your Incognito. You there too? Let me make you an official too. My guy Incognito, guys, go follow his page, man. I'm telling you. Him and Sly Skins, man, they are like one of the same. He's another guy. I'm talking about I Incognito, always there on both of my channels, man. So really appreciate both of you guys. Your hard work is never go unnoticed, man. Especially with the feedback of the videos. I'm talking about whether it's some people always only post good stuff about me. No, they do equal. It's not biased at all. It's unbiased. And I love the facts that they bring in. They do their time. They do their research. They pull up information about like 3rd and down distance and 4th and long distance and the previous scores of teams. They do a lot of research, man. So young guys like them, the amount of research they do. All right, so Kansas City Chiefs just put money on the board. 3-0. Kansas City Chiefs are winning. Tom Brady looks like he's focused, Don Ford, appreciate you for tuning in. Hey, we're going to get this thing going one way or another. You don't have a page? That's okay, Incognito. That's okay. You don't have a page? Grow a page, man. Do a page. You have the rights to grab my stuff and repost it to your page. Do something, man. You got a lot of information. Incognito, go follow his stuff, man. Jared AF, man. Gonna get $5 if the Kansas City wins. Come on, man, you gotta bump it up a little bit. You should at least get 50 or 500, man, because KC looking like they the real deal. They putting pressure on the Patriots. But we're gonna see, like towards the halftime or what have you, how the adjustments going to make out. But it is what it is. I got this hair, man. My facial hair grows so fast. Everybody be like, man. Like you, brother, my facial hair curled up and it going into my nose, it's tickling the hell out of me. Dog. Then you go in there and clip that little facial hair right here. Beard problems, man. Shaved this morning. This thing grow this fast. But shout out to the little boat, man. The GOAT. Yeah, shout out to you, man. Can't wait till Uncle Mickey come out. Chris Bates, man. Shout out to you, man. I used to have a guy named Chris Bates from my hometown, NTZ, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. John Wick. Long as we don't kill your dog, you're all good with me. Calvin Williamson, following the page for a long time. Chi-Town, Get Down, Chicago, West Side, man. Hey, I got a granddad, man, who was from the South Side of Chicago all day, man. Windy City, the wind so cold out there, man. Sharp, he'll cut you up more than OJ, man. It's real out there in Chi-Town. I ain't gonna even lie. Cajun, Cowboy, man, shout out to you, man. LVE, he almost had that pick. Yes, indeed. He was close. Oh, they got my guy talking now.
Practice film from a couple of years
right?
ago.
We were saying the Cowboys were like, we know that guy.
That's why he's not here.
We know that. He can't cover.
Right? That's why he's not here. And they thought they were going to match him up one-on-one with Beasley, and if they weren't going to get pressure on Dak, and we can start right there, they did a much better job of giving him time in the pocket. How many times did he complete a pass when he was stepping forward, stepping into the pass, instead of backing out on his back foot and trying to throw the ball? So it makes a heck of a lot of difference. It makes a heck of a lot of difference when Zeke runs for 106 yards. And when they play man-to-man defense, as Dak said in his press conference, then I got an opportunity to pull the ball down and run because everybody's running downfield and there's no one near me, especially if they blitz and you pick it up and you get to the outside. So a lot of good things. They got the takeaways. Now that's 2 takeaways in the last 2 games. So that's starting to ramp up. As I pointed out beforehand, that team only had 11 sacks going into this game. They only had 5 takeaways. The Cowboys had 4, for goodness sakes. And now they're starting to see the ball bounce a little bit their way. But again, this will be the frustration I think everybody will face. It's like, how can they do it tonight? Can they do it next Sunday night in Washington? Because they're obviously capable, but now can you play consistently? And that was one of the things that was going around in the locker room. It's great that we did it now, but we got to do it again. We can't just keep with this teeter-totter thing, up and down, and that's how you get to 500. And I'm sure the goal is to be much better than 500.
By the way, Mick, 103 points now surrendered by this defense, so that's 17 points per game.
Which the coaches in this league will tell you, if I hold my opponent to 17 points, I should win.
Yeah.
Right? And they've done it now.
In 2018 in the NFL, you have to win.
So in 4 quarters, 2 of the losses, they held them to 16 points. You ought to win those games, right?
Got to win those.
And if you don't blow coverages the way they did against Seattle, you got a chance there too. But you got to score more than, what were they scoring? 12.3 points a game? It's got to be better than that. And they did. So things worked tonight, but again, now can you do it again? This is only the 3rd time in the last 54 games that they've scored 40 or more points. It's been a while since they did it, and I agree with what Brad said. I don't know if he said it here or on the post-game show. This was probably their most complete game since they beat Kansas City in Game 8 last year, and it was an AFC team. And you thought at that point, whoa, this team's rolling now, right? And then unfortunately the suspension hit, Tyron Smith gets hurt, and then the offense went downhill.
So where do we stand with this team, Mick? Like, are we on the fence with this team, or because you try to pick out all the positives on it, but then you look back and you go, we saw some negative, and then you see this 40-point output. Where do we stand?
It's too early to jump to conclusions.
Too early to call them good, too early to call them bad?
Yeah, absolutely. And I said before the season started, if you expected this team, I wrote it in my column the Friday before the opener, if you expect this team to get off to a 5-0 start, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Because
if they play like tonight, it probably would be a 5-0 start.
But my point was they may grow before your very eyes. It's a whole new receiving core. It's a whole new tight end core. You got new guys on the offensive line without Travis Frederick in there. And they certainly did a much better job of blocking.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe it was the way Jacksonville thought they should play defense. Are their coaches going to get roasted when they get back to Jacksonville, tomorrow? whatever they decided, it wasn't working. But I think the Cowboys had a lot to do with it and how they played well and played complementary football where the defense played well. They got some takeaways. They took advantage of them. Brett Mayer, I don't know. I mean, he's got to miss one at some point, right?
No, he doesn't.
No, he don't.
I mean, that's what, is it 15? He was 11 straight. He made 3 or 4 today.
Come on, Mickey. Uncle Mick. Come on, Mick.
It's 14 or 15 straight, right? Field goals. He missed the first one, and that's
made
it.
everyone since.
And every one of them since.
Very eerie, similar to what
Dan Bailey
did,
right?
He missed the first one in week 2 against the Niners. I gave him redemption in the overtime, and then he went on. I gave him redemption.
And he was able to make the game winner.
He made the game winner, and then he went on and made, 29 more in a row?
Something like that. Yeah, he's got a long ways to go, so he better not be satisfied with it. And, you get him doing that. You got guys making plays on defense. I mean, they're out there without Awuzie, right?
Right.
And they stepped up. Jordan Lewis did a nice job in the slot. They weren't perfect. Anthony Brown did a nice job, broke up a couple plays, and I was asking Byron Jones, I said, so do they give you like a half of interception for the interception that Heath got? And he goes, oh, man. He goes, that was my interception. And when I looked at it, it hit him right. I thought he tipped it, right? It hit him right square in the 31 and bounced off. He said it actually hit my helmet.
Well, he's used to just batting away balls.
Well, and everybody was jumping up, but at least they had broken up the pass, so you never know when something good happens when you break up a pass. And I think you just see how hard they're playing on defense. And having both Malik Collins and David Irving out there, you also saw what the rotation was like, and they could preserve DeMarcus Lawrence, who's out there playing with a bum shoulder, and they could move everybody around. They had Irving playing the 3 technique, the 1 technique, and then they were double teaming him so much inside they moved him out to defensive end there in the about the 4th quarter, and he said they were still chipping to me. He goes, inside they were sliding me, and then they were chipping me outside, but other guys were able to bust through. Randy Gregory gets his first sack. And so as long as they keep playing hard like that, and the linebackers keep I didn't see what the defensive tackles were, but I bet Jalen and Van Der Esch probably double digits again. So if you can, Sean Lee may start having a complex. They've won 2 games without him out of 3, and they might just say, you know what, just go sit another game, take the bye. And then when we come back from the bye, you'll be ready to go.
Thank you, Mickey.
Okay, see you guys.
Mickey's been Noah, DallasCowboys.com.
Shout out to Calvin, man, for making the donation to help grow the nation. That's what I'm talking about.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And, man, everybody running to their way.
USAA insurance. Yeah, so, hey, this is the thing, man. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Making the moves down the field, throwing the ball methodically, moving the ball with Ezekiel Elliott, and then hitting the wide receivers and able to catch the ball. Look, as much as I like this wide receiving core, we got a bunch of guys that's undrafted. Deontay Thompson, undrafted. Alan Hearns, undrafted. Cole Bees doing his thing, undrafted. Can you imagine if we had one of those guys, those supreme type of guys that can catch the ball within space? Of course, we saw what we saw with my guy Michael Gallup. But this thing is still far from over with. We seeing some growth with Dak Prescott looking down the field. It's still his 3rd year, going into his 3rd year. So what we have to expect from him, if we have to lower it a little bit, because we're trying to put him on platforms that he don't belong, like the Pat Mahomes of the world, Carson Wentz, and of course we want to talk about the other guys that's out there that's making moves out there. But Dak Prescott is still holding his own. I don't think that there's no other quarterback right now that's drafted after him making moves. And then on top of that, this team looks like we are locked, loaded, and ready. All we have to do is just match these wins together. If we went for it last game, 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1, whatever it may have been, if we would have got that, this team would look totally different if we was able to pull out a win from that game. If we was able to pull out a win from Seattle Seahawks, this team would be a totally different team. My thing is now, if we can win these division games like we did in 2016, the only team that we lost to was the Giants. I think we got the Giants nailed to right. I think that we are better than the Giants. I think that we can figure out a way to beat them. I guess we'll play the next game at their turf. Then we're going to have to go into the Redskins and we'll see what they're going to do. I know one thing. Right now, Our only issue is a little bit with the running quarterback. We saw how we had those little problems a little bit with our ends crashing down, getting upfield with those running quarterbacks. So although Alex is a running quarterback, I think his arm is lesser of the Watson or lesser of the Cam, and lesser of the Russell Wilson. So I think we still have a chance, guys. So all we have to do is stay focused and just still be formidable just a little bit to see what we can do about these teams.
As one of those.
Still commercial with 105.3 The Fan. Shout out to Ari. He's on Phantom. Go follow his page. We have to figure out a way to show love and support to everybody. Like Mark Holmes of the World. Follow his page. Follow Vach Lombardi. Follow Big Game James. Silver and Blue Nation. They on my Facebook. Follow their pages. D Dallas Prospect. Every legend was once a prospect. Don't forget to follow their pages too. Guys, all we have to do is just reel all this stuff in, reel all emotions in. Guys, I always want to say this too. I really want to say this. Just lay off of Dak Prescott. We understand that he's not going to make every throw that you want him to make, but he can win games. Interception. Pat Mahomes passed his second interception of the year. It looks like number 54 got a convoy. Yeah, they finna to score. Score. So I'm looking at the game over here. Pat Mahomes versus not the Philadelphia Eagles, but the New England Patriots. But there is flag on laundry out there on the field. So this is the thing. If we can figure out a way to reel in a nation, just imagine if all the negativity that you guys have of Dak Prescott, if y'all reel that back and y'all support the man instead of dogging the man. Some of that stuff is something about positive energy that you can move this thing around and say, okay, you may not win every game like you want to, but you can win some games with his legs. If you can make the teams that when they play in man-to-man defense, if Dak Prescott can make them pay, OMG, this can be a team that can be a threat. And I think, and I'm going to knock on some wood, I think that Dak Prescott health-wise is real good in the sense where he's big, he can absorb some of those hits, and he's not as fragile as a quarterback that's running the ball like a RG3. So he's not as fragile as those guys. He's not as fragile as a Marcus Mariota, as my guy Sly Skin says. So we can have possibilities and chances if we gonna all get together, the Cowboys Nation, and say the New England Patriots just scored 10-3. They the for real deal, man. So if we can figure out a way to move everything positive towards this young quarterback, and then we can surround weapons with him down the line, this can be a team that we can take us real far into the National Football League as far as playoff chances. Because I really think that if we playing good like this at home, oh my goodness, if we can figure out a way to get to the playoff, and it so happened to be in Jerry's world, man, think about that, guys. Just think about that. Because all you need is, if you win in the NFC East, and then trust me, the LA Rams looking good right now. They beat the team in the cold weather. So my theory and analogy about cold is gone. It's gone from here. But if we can figure out a way to sneak off in that playoff and get home games in the playoff, all you really need is 3 or 2 games in the playoff. And this is good from there. Let's see what 105.3 The Fan. I hope they got the Ezekiel Elliott interview up.
After the game.
Zeke, it's like you guys made a statement. Y'all against the wall, but y'all came out 40-7 against a very good Jacksonville team. How did it feel out there?
It felt great. This game showed me what we're made of. Backs against the wall. Can't go down too far. We can't. It's not an option. And this team knew it. We knew it going into this game, and we knew what we had to do. We knew they had a great defense, but, we're a great offense. We're good players too. And so, we just had to go out there and get that win, and we did that.
It was all systems on all sides of the ball, but let's start with Dak. It seemed like it all started with Dak. Dak was doing everything out there.
Dak's an incredible player. He's probably tired of hearing every week, all you got to do is stop Zeke and you will beat the Cowboys. No, that's not what it is. Dak's a great quarterback. He's one of the better quarterbacks in this league. And he said that today. He came out there, he led us, and, he led us to that win.
And you had 25 touchdowns. I don't know if you realize this. You're there's no Cowboy that's had 25 rushing touchdowns this fast. That's like a record. That feel anything special? I know you prefer the wins over the stats.
It's definitely special when you think about who the Cowboy running backs were. You think about the lineage of the running back position for this franchise, and I mean, there's a lot of great players, and just honored to even be able to be mentioned with those guys, and I mean, I really don't even deserve to yet. So I mean, just honored to be mentioned with those guys, but we gotta keep going. We got a lot of football left.
Finally, I got to ask you about your health because everybody knows you get banged up, but you keep on jumping up and hitting the hole hard. How do you feel physically?
I feel great. I feel great after this game. I came in the game with a couple nagging injuries. Didn't re-aggravate any of them. I feel good. I don't feel beat up. So, I mean, that's a +2 going into next week, and then we get that bye week. So
there you go. Congratulations, Zeke.
All right, thank you.
All right, Zeke Elliott.
Yeah.
Chris Arnold right here on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network. It's worth mentioning again, Jesse. The Cowboys going into this game had scored 83 points in 5 games. They scored basically half of that here today. Score 40, put 40 on one of the best defenses in the NFL. I mean, that's incredible. Half of their entire offensive output in 5 games in one game.
One game.
We've talked to Brad. We've talked to Mickey. We've talked to
callers.
We've talked
some
to
drunk people in the front row here at the Miller Lite Club.
We talked to a bunch of reporters in the elevator. No one had an answer for this offensive output today. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Mickey was very adamant about saying, you can't judge a football team.
Hey, before we say another word, everybody say, hey, Miss Jackie. Shout out to Miss Jackie. What are they doing? They do a swivel kick, Kansas City Chiefs versus the New England Patriots. I don't know what they're trying to do, but this is what it is.
It gives you some trends.
Not everything, but trends.
You start to trend on what you do well, what you're not doing well, and things can change. It can fluctuate up and down, but this today will have a lot of people driving home, smiling, happy because they won, but also scratching your head and saying, where did this come from, and how can we continue this? Because nothing about the way this team played this year, not even in training camp, because the offense wasn't playing well in training camp. It was an all defensive training camp.
Yep, you're right.
Nothing, we can find nothing that really tells us that, this is something that they can do consistently. Not granted. Even the good teams, your New England's, your Kansas City's, your New Orleans, your high-powered offense are not putting up a 40-piece. But what is it about this team that you can try to hang your hat on that and say, you know what, maybe not 40, but we can get 28, 30 points a game.
Well, look, Baltimore is the number 1 defense right now in the NFL as far as points. They were number 1 coming into this week. It's 77 points given up in 5 games and shut out Tennessee today. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Baltimore is like giving up 40 or 14 points a game, which is absurd. But the Cowboys holding the Jaguars to 7 points move up into second place for their scoring defense at 103 points in 6 weeks. The Titans, who gave up 21 in that loss to Baltimore, are third with 107. So, I mean, they have the number 2 scoring defense. So they've had some bad weeks on defense, especially that last win against Detroit stands out. But 103 points surrendered for this team after 6 weeks. I mean, that is certainly much more of a trend than what we've seen on offense for this team. Their defense is showing out in a big way.
Oh, 100%. Their defense is well ahead of what their offense is. But
that's what this team can hang its hat on right now.
And you got 2 players back, and while the guys up front on the defensive line, guys like Malik Collins, while he doesn't get much credit, you don't truly know the game of football. You know
Malik Collins get a lot of credit.
Like that inside, a true big body inside, someone who can clog up the middle, and now what it does is it allows guys like David Irving, Crawford, and Tank and Randy and all those fast twitch guys. It allows them to get some one-on-one matchups, because when you have that big 1-3 technique inside that can eat up some blocks and guys have to kind of really clamp down on because they can disrupt that pocket in the middle, it allows for those other speed guys to do what they do best and attack the quarterback. So having a guy back like that will definitely do wonders for this defense up front, and having that rotation where guys are fresher, longer throughout that time.
We'll hear from Jalen Smith in a moment, but let's go back to the phones at 877-881-1053. Jay's calling in from Valley Ranch. Go ahead, Jay. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Hey guys, great show. Hey, just real quick, just want to say I think at the 8th week is really when you can really start kind of shuffling and
figuring out
who's about to break loose. And my second thing, real quick, and I'll hang up. I really believe that Jason is calling these plays. I can't believe Linehan just switched overnight and started making these great play calls for this offense.
Appreciate the phone call, Jay. I mean, I guarantee you it was Scott Linehan calling these plays.
It was Scott. Yeah.
And look, it's not like they woke up this morning and Scott Linehan said, you know what, I'm going to call read option plays.
Right.
And like sometimes they work. They called read options against Seattle. It didn't work as well. I mean, we joke, look, they should just call these plays every week. Well, I mean, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. You brought it up. I mean, the difference is execution. And I know it's funny because the Cowboys say that, and we're like, oh, we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that you just need to execute. But, I mean, they won the battle up front. Their offensive line controlled that defensive front. So when you do that, and Dak has time to throw, and now he gets moving on the outside, they're running the read option, I mean, things just started to work for them. So,
they did.
I mean, look, we want to rip into Scott Linehan when the Cowboys' offense sputters, but, I mean, Linehan's the guy that called the plays here today, and they worked well today.
And there's certain things about a football game when you go back and you look at it. The Cowboys held the ball for 17 more minutes. That is over a quarter where they held the football.
And that's not a great stat for most teams, but for the Cowboys, that's a very, very important stat.
We saw Cowboys go back to having they had a 16-play drive. They had multiple drives of 8 plays or more. They converted on third down. They had 17 first downs in the first half. They
were 28% on third down coming into this game.
28%.
And so when you don't penalize yourself, when you don't get behind in the sticks, when you control the ball, right, and then when you get in the red zone and you actually score touchdowns, that is the key. When you get in the red zone and you actually score touchdowns, things like this happen for you. And the Cowboys, leading up to this game, had been killing themselves on third down, like you just mentioned, 28%. They only had 2 penalties all day today. They didn't get behind on the sticks very much today. They did not turn the ball over, and they scored touchdowns. When you score touchdowns, it's demoralizing to the other team, because when those points go up on the board, it's if you drive the ball and kick a field goal, the defense said to yourself, we won. We stopped them. We gave up 3. But when you go down and you put the ball in the end zone, they have to walk to the sideline with their head hanging low. And you do it repeatedly over and over and over and over again, their head drops lower and lower and lower, and then they give up and they don't want to play football anymore.
7 for 17 were the Dallas Cowboys on third down. This is a team that coming in was converting 28% of third downs. They went 7 for 17 and hang 40 on one of the best defenses in the NFL. I'm Ari Temkin along with Jesse Holley. 877-881-1053. We'll hear from Brett Maher, and that certainly bears further discussion too. A major gamble for Stephen Jones, Jerry, Will McClan, the Dallas.
Yeah, Brett Maher coming in next. So we're going to see what Brett going to talk about. Can't wait to see. Can't wait to hear. The score right now for the Patriots versus KC is 10-6. Man, Tom Brady, man, he's doing his thing, man. That's just all we can say. Tom Brady is doing his thing. April Stanton, thank you for tuning in. I don't got the Paul Masson, but I got this right here. And shout out to you, and let's see what we can do, man. Let's see what we can do to get things going in the right direction. Yeah, so Brett Maher, man, is doing his thing this year, man. He's a gem. I mean, he's making those kicks right down in the middle. It was a shock to me to see those guys block for him extra out there, and he's still hitting those balls. All right, Tom Brady's in under the center. They in a pro set. Put the ball in the belly of the receiver. Oh! Passes the ball 15 yards down the field. It seems like Tom Brady, look like they're finna put 7. It's going to be 17-6. They're going to score. They're going to put 7 points off of this drive. I can just tell the way, the attitude, and the mindset Tom Brady got when he got that furious anger. It's something special about that guy. And Tom Brady, man. How old is Tom Brady? 41, 42? Ageless wonder. And then if you barely touch him, they're going to call a flag on him. So the guy can play to his 50s almost. Ooh. It's going to be a good game, man, if y'all can tune in to the KC versus New England Patriots game on NBC. I mean, this is a good game so far, 10-6 competitive. First quarter, they're gonna let this click out to the second quarter. Tom Brady's marching the ball down the field, man. It's going to be one of those things, guys. Tom Brady doing Tom Brady magic, So, shout out to Rue. Rue, what's up, man? Yeah, got the hand dog on the mix, man. Montana 808, thank you for tuning in. Incognito, thank you for tuning in, handling everything out there. Brett Mayhar, Slot Skins, Miss Jackie's in the mix. No Chill, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, guys, put down where you're from and where you guys are predicting for next week's game. Let's focus on the Redskins too as we celebrate this victory. We're gonna have Victory Monday coming around the corner. Brian Bradford, thank you for tuning in. Chris Bates, salute to you, my brother. Who we here? Brady is killing it. IP, yeah. Internet Protocol, yeah. Appreciate you for tuning in. Rue, what's good? Used to be Dan's kicking the man. Yeah. Yeah, you might want to get some nicknames for Brett Mayhurst as long as he's not letting us down. He have yet to miss a kick. He only missed one kick right so far. So shout out to him. Let me knock on some wood. We need to have Brett Mayhurst continue to have these nice little wonderful games. Law Tom Brady is 41 years old. Oh my God. And he still got an arm on him, man. Mississippi Gulf Coast. Yeah, I like to hear where you guys are from. Appreciate and salute to you guys, especially from the SIP. If you're from the SIP, let me know too. So I always love to hear Las Vegas in here. That's what I'm talking about. It's tons of things you can do down in Las Vegas, and you tuning in to the nation. That means a lot, man. Tons of things, because I know what I will be doing out there in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LA Lakers, man. How you feel the Lakers going to do too? Let me know, what the Lakers going to do and what they're going to do this year. Chris Bakes, man, appreciate you, man. Thank you. Clifton, yeah, shout out to you. Virginia, man, we everywhere. We internationally. NC here, North Carolina, yeah. Brett Money Mayher. That name rings a bell. So good, man. Yeah. Tex-Mex, yeah, San Antonio, Texas. There you go. Yeah, I heard Cowboys Nation, we run San Antonio. And they talking about bringing the Raiders there. They was like, nah, nobody would go to the games because there's so much silver and blue nation down there. There's a waste of y'all chances because we only going to come to the game when y'all play against the Cowboys. So they're like, you know what? We're not even going to move our team down there. That's what I'm talking about. Lakers third or fourth seed. Man, hey, I'm not a big on LeBron James fan, but when he came to my Lakers, I said, oh, my God, I got to start rooting for the man. The Patriots just got a first down. Patriots look like they in threat of scoring. Shoney Michelle, I had him high on my draft board, too. So, all right, so we're finna bring in somebody. Thank you guys for tuning in to the nation. Really appreciate it. LA Lakers all day, even twice on Sunday. You guys know how the Lakers go. I love the Lakers, too. And of course, I'm from Mississippi, so don't hate on me because I'm Cowboys and a Lakers fan. From Mississippi, who can I root for from there? We don't have no team. Brady fumbles the ball, but he's able to get back on top of it.
The Dallas Cowboys Radio Network. That's your drive of the game, brought to you by Ford.
Ford
is the best in Texas. That would be the final drive for the Cowboys before half. 16 plays, 78 yards. A signature Jason Garrett, Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott drive, 7 minutes and 14 seconds off the clock. This following a 3-play drive by the Jaguars that only went 6 yards and took $1:33 off the clock. So that is your drive of the game. It was capped off by a 9-yard touchdown pass on third down to Cole Beasley. Jesse, that was Cole Beasley's second touchdown catch. In the first half, he had 2 in the first half.
Ooh,
that was his
Josh Gordon series.
Multi-touchdown game of his career. We heard the stat earlier. First 5 games, the Cowboys scored a cumulative 32 total points the first 5 games of the first half. They had 24 in the first half tonight against the Jacksonville freaking Jaguars defense.
The question that you have to ask yourself is who is the real Cowboy? Is the real Cowboy the one that we saw 5 games prior to this who scored 32 total points in the first half? Or is the real Cowboys the one that we saw put up 24.5? And these are the questions that we'll continue to ask ourselves all week until we see a consistency from the Cowboys offensively. Defensively, they're set.
Elderman is something nice,
I think we know
man.
what they're going to be defensively. And it's funny, and I'm not picking or trying to break down Mick's kind of.
We don't know anything.
We don't know anything, but we call the defense great. So wait a second. Now you can't have it both ways. We can't say that the defense is great,
right?
When you can say that
we don't know anything.
Well, we don't know anything. You can't if we can't call this offense what it has been in the first 5 weeks, which has been stagnant, which has been way behind, which has been deplorable in some aspects. Then can we call this defense great after 5 weeks? I'm just going from the premise of what was given to me.
Right. It's convenient to say, well, let's wait and see what we have on offense when consistently they've not been very consistent, but then also say, but this defense is great because, like, the trend is the defense is great, the offense is inconsistent. And 83 total points in 5 games. They score 40 week 6. So you're right.
So that's my only
question. Which one's the anomaly?
Which one is the anomaly and which one is the true person?
40 points against one of the best defenses in the NFL doesn't erase what we've seen on offense for 5 previous weeks.
Yeah. It doesn't. It can't. If you have 2 eyes and a brain, what we saw
this
is why it is the head scratcher, because we saw what we saw leading up to this game, and if there is a person who said that the Cowboys would score 40 points tonight, I will cash out my bank account. I will cash it out. Now, you may only be able to afford a Happy Meal, but when I'm cashing you out my bank account with, no one thought 40 points. We all were saying this is going to be an offensive struggle.
9-6 game.
This is going to be an offensive struggle. Because why? Because prior to this game, we saw this offense be stagnant. We saw this offense, to be frank, it was sorry. It was sorry. It was laughable that we were marching out professional football players to put up 16 points a game. And so that's why I have to ask the question, well, which one is which? Is it this or is it that? But you can't say that we can't call this what it is in the first 5 or 6 weeks. But on the flip side of the ball, we can call that what it is after the first 5 or 6 weeks. That's all I'm saying about that. We have to be consistent on both sides of the ball.
877-881-1053. Dom's been holding on from Oak Cliff. Go ahead, Dom. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Hey, guys. Don't want to take up too much of your time.
That Mahomes, boy.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Yeah, okay, Dom. Whatever.
That's an interesting call. 877-881-1053.
Don't be dumb.
Let's go to
Cameron.
Don't
be dumb like Dom.
Let's go Cameron in Fort Worth. Go ahead, Cameron. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
That guy was special. Hey, guys. I wanted to lift up an unsung hero, somebody who's been an underdog his whole career. When Travis Frederick, the best center in the NFL, went down, I thought we were going to be screwed, just like our situation with Chaz Green last year. And this dude has held his own against some of the best defensive lines in the NFL. And I every time I see Dak take a snap, I see a lot of space right in front of him. So just want to lift up Joe Looney. Not only has he been formidable, he's been good.
Appreciate the phone call, Cameron. And look,
shout out to Nick Blue, man. Thank
Joe
you for tuning
Looney's
in. Montana
limitations are only based on how good Travis Frederick is.
Yeah.
Like, Travis Frederick's the best center in the game, arguably. So the only limitations that Looney has is he's not the best center in the game.
Yeah.
So the communication, the knowledge that he has playing alongside Zach Martin, like, those are things he can't have. But is this the best offensive line in football like it was in 2016? No. But
my guy Vaj Lombardi, man, he's in the chat box. He said, hey, tell the 105.3 the fan people to stop watching his videos and taking his comments, because they do sound echoes of Vaj Lombardi. So it is what it
I think
is.
it starts with that offensive line.
You're right.
Doski, woski, peesky, whisky.
Prescott a lot of time
implied
to sit in the pocket. And the thing about Cole Beasley with his routes, sometimes they take a little time to develop. He'll have some whip routes. He'll have some return routes. And some of those routes take a little bit of time to develop. The option routes, they're not always those quick hitters. He needs sometimes, the deep crosses. Those routes need time to develop. And against this defensive front that they played against the Jacksonville Jaguars, most quarterbacks didn't get much time to allow routes to develop. Today we saw Dak Prescott have some time for routes to develop, and for him, like Mick was saying earlier, to step into throws. He wasn't backing away and kind of shooting fadeaways out there. He was being able to step in and drive the ball and follow through without guys in his face. And that's a huge credit to guys like Joe Looney and Tyron and L.C. Collins, all those guys, because this line has taken a step back from what it once was, but like you said, Ari, it's down the list of things that are going wrong with this offense. That offensive line is way down on the list, and today they earned their checks today to go up against that line with a bunch of first rounders and high free agent guys. They earned their checks today.
877-881-1053. We'll get back to the phones in a moment, but first, let's hear what Jalen Smith had to say after this football game. As the Cowboys beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 40-7, here is Jalen Smith from the locker room after this Cowboys victory.
Jalen Smith, that was a complete victory. How did it feel out there? You all healthy? How does it feel?
Man, it feels great. It feels great. Anytime you get a chance to get a victory.
What was the biggest play in that game to you? I mean, it seemed like from start to finish that you guys were on it.
Man, just getting a chance to go out there with some chemistry and camaraderie, get a chance to make a couple plays, and this is a great team win. Getting a chance to get off the field, offense getting a chance to put up some points. Just a great team win.
Was there pressure because the fans were nervous, the media was saying the Cowboys don't seem like they have it this year, and all of a sudden you guys put together a game plan that was so complete?
We focused on us. That's what we do each and every week. Each week JG says the league is going to be decided each and every week. Who's winning the Super Bowl, who's going to the Pro Bowl, all of that good stuff. But we just got to control what we can control, and we're all honored to be able to play for America's team.
And finally, Leighton Vander Esch, LVE has been solid. I know Sean is out. He's going to be coming back. Can you talk about your partner in crime, because he's surprising a lot of people too?
Man, it's the reason why he was a first-round pick. We have so much depth. The linebacking core, we have our entire linebacking group can be starters in this league. We're fortunate enough to be blessed and be deep. But our leader, Sean Lee, he'll be back, and I'm excited to have him back. He still got some juice in him.
All right, congratulations, clear eye view.
Clear eye view, baby.
Got you.
Clear eye
Smith
view.
visiting with Chris Arnold after the game. Jalen Smith with 9 total tackles. Leighton Vander Esch, his partner in crime, had 11 total tackles, including a pass deflected, pass defensed. We talked about it earlier. Cowboys run a lot of nickel, which means they have 2 linebackers on the field, and that's been Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith. So,
11 tackles again? Man! Woo! Boy, 11 tackles. That LVE, man. And then also you have Jalen Smith with 9, but man. And to know that I was so upset when we drafted him, I'm not afraid to say I'm going to fall on the sword and say this right here. I was wrong about LVE. But man, 11
have to go out there and be the guy. Maybe he's out there on first downs, right? Maybe out there on second down and come off the field. On third down when predominantly nickel.
We don't need Sean Lee back out
defense. But Sean Lee, again, has the ability mentally to do everything you want him to do out there. And Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith can't sniff his dirty cleats when it comes to the mental part of the game. But Sean Lee can't sniff their cleats either when it comes to the athleticism. So it's kind of it's one of those things, it's one of those payoffs. Do I take the young developing athletic duo and keep them out there?
Keep the young man out there.
Do I let Sean Lee go back in the mix? But here's why they paid Jason Garrett and Rod Marinelli, Chris Richard. Here's why they pay those guys the big bucks. Figure it out.
Look, I can figure it out for them. You put in like you put Sean Lee in as situational downs. Like, for example, when they get out of the nickel, you keep LVE, you keep Jalen Smith in. And I'm sorry, Damian Wilson. You'll be the odd man out. I would interject Sean Lee as the Sam guy. You see, as the guy that's on the Sam side of things. As it relates to like when we go with our base formation defense, then you would have a package where you have Jalen Smith as the Mike, you have LVE as the weak side, and then you just roll out Sean Lee as the Sam. That's just how it goes. I wouldn't want to move LVE to the Sam side because it's just going to be crazy, man. Nice bang bang play by the Kansas City Chiefs. But, that's what I would do. What would you guys do? Put that in the comment box. Put that down below. But me personally, I don't want to stop this flow. LVE is racking up tackles, man. Not sacks, but tackles. He's doing his deal out there. I think he had 11 or 12 tackles last game. That ain't normal, man, for a rookie. You already know this team is in a desperate need of having consistency. What I would do, I would just sprinkle in Sean Lee. Trust me, I love Sean Lee, but I would say, Sean Lee, hey, in order to keep you down the line when it's needed to be the most, I wouldn't be mad if we get to the playoff and then you move in, because I'm saying a big if we get to the playoff, then you move Sean Lee as a Mike. I wouldn't mind that. But right now, keep that consistency. Keep that poise going. We know what Sean Lee is. He's the brain. Yeah. So
register at affinity.com.
Oh, they on a little commercial break. But hey, it is what it is, man. Let me know how y'all feel about the situation, man. I want to know y'all thoughts, man. I want to know y'all opinions on Sean Lee when he's healthy enough to get back out there. And then during practice, can I speak freely? On the nation in practice? Do you want to give up those reps for LVE and Jalen Smith? Do you really want to give up those reps? Let me know. Put that in the comment box. Man, you guys running this thing. I'm just here, I'm just a moderator at this point. Let me know. Put that in the comment box. Would you rather have the more reps for LVE and Jalen Smith, or you put in Sean Lee's of the world and you figure out you take some of the reps away, and what it does is that it throws the balance off, and then guys running around with a chicken with their head cut off. Put that down in the comment. Let me know. Let me know how y'all feel about that, man. Real talk. Because we have yet to be consistent with our linebacker play when Sean Lee is on the field, off the field, on the field, off the field. And trust me, I love Sean Lee's brain. Damian Wilson, man, trust me, number 57 is good all around as far as what he does now. And that's why he's a part-time player, because we play so much nickel anyway. Jalen Smith, slot skins. Yeah, Jalen Smith is our Mike linebacker right now. Vach, what's happening in Montana? Everything gravy. Vach, let me know. Would you, like with your football brain, would you move Jalen Smith? I'll keep Jalen Smith as the Mike, because eventually, to me, if LVE is continuing doing his thing, I'll switch those roles. I'll switch LVE as the Mike, and I'll put Jalen Smith as the weak side. And then we'll move Sean Lee as to Sam. But let me know right now, would you keep Vach Lombardi if you're able to reply? Would you rather have Sean Lee coming in as the Sam linebacker and move him? Joe Thomas was injured this game, so he wasn't even active. But if you move Jalen Smith, if you move Sean Lee as the Sam guy, let me know. Salute, man. I really appreciate. I work hard and I really try to reach the goal. Yeah, guys, follow Vach Lombardi's page. Lombardi, follow his page, man. He got tons of insight, tons of information. I want to know if he can hear me. Hopefully he can, and he can put his reply down in the box below. Right now, the Kansas City Chiefs, their score is 9-17. The Patriots got the ball. Let's see what the old man, number 41, would do. Appreciate everybody. Incognito, he's regulating the thing, and also Slot Skin. Y'all follow their pages, although they don't have content yet, but follow their pages. They got great insights. Rue, I honestly feel like linebacker group will work itself out one way or another. Hey, Rue, I feel you on that, man. I feel you on that. I mean, we got to always better our best, but I feel you on that aspect of the game. I really do. I really do. This linebacking crew can work this thing out. Boy, that Tom Brady, man, just blessed, man. That boy is just blessed. That boy Tom Brady is just launching that ball down the field. Jeff, what's good, man? What you feel, man? What you feel? Sean Lee's light in the ASS for the inside. I mean, if you play Sam, he don't have to really take on so much. He still have to be responsible for the tight end here and there, depending on the schemes that the Cowboys run. Along we will have Will, Mike, and Sam, Jack linebackers. Let me see. They ran away from me. Let's see what they got next, man. Lee is Mr. Glass. Time to make him a coach. Lee will be one hell of a coach. Don't let him leave Texas. Let him be the coach of the team. That's what I would do. All right. So I'm going to read what Voch Lombardi says out here, man. He commented, man. And shout out to Voch, man. I'm talking about the brain of NFL stuff, man. He said LVE is racking up tackles because he's the wheel. He runs and clean you, and he don't want Sean Lee dealing with those strong side. Just rotate LVE, and Sean Lee ain't trash. Just give him, you just get hurt. Leads the snap. Stay fresh. Okay. So pretty much, so what he's saying is that what you'll do is you'll put Sean Lee's back in the LVE spot, and then you'll move LVE as the Sam linebacker. Basically, let me know, Bosh. Let me know if I'm right or wrong on that, because, brother is on the hen dog right now. I can blame that on the hen, right? But so you'll keep Jalen as the Mike. You'll keep Sean Lee as the weak side, and then you'll just rotate LVE as the Sam. Guys, put that in the comment box down below. Okay, here you go. There you go. What's up, man? Shout out to you, man. Let me turn them down and let me put you on. You're on the live. You live on the Nation.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready like Eddie, man. Go ahead.
All right, cool. So what I was saying was, like I ain't hating on Van Der Esch or whatever, but
right.
Van Der Esch ranking up tackles is because he's the will linebacker. Like we're playing well enough, and we're keeping track. So with him lined up at will, he gets to run clean. Sean Lee great, like he sees things early and he runs clean. Now the problem is you don't want Sean Lee playing on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to deal with tight ends, you got to deal with fullbacks, you got to deal with people pulling and trapping them and shit like that. So you don't want Sean Lee strong side. You want Sean Lee either chasing things backside or you want Sean Lee running free to the weak side. You see what I'm saying? And that's basically what Van Der Esch been doing. Now, when Sean Lee comes back, Sean's the smarter guy, Jalen's the athlete, but it ain't like Sean a scrub and he ain't been getting it done. Sean Lee's still amazing. So you just going to have to either play with three linebackers or rotate Sean Lee and Van Der Esch. And I don't have a problem with that because if you rotate Sean Lee and Van Der Esch, then both of them stay fresh and Sean Lee gets hurt less because he's playing less snaps.
Hey, you remember that year that Sean Lee racked up a lot of INTs, right? He was playing the mic. What about entertaining that?
Well, that's kind of like the same problem, so to speak. So, like I always say, move the one, block the mic. You know what I mean? You don't want guards on Sean Lee. Like the last time Sean Lee played Mike, Zach Martin hurt him at practice. You don't want that. you want Sean Lee dealing with backside tight ends. You want him dealing with receiver cutoffs. You want him dealing with those kind of things. Maybe backside tackles. You don't want Sean Lee dealing with those big interior guys or dealing with fullbacks and tight ends and stuff. So keep Sean Lee weak. If anything, let Van Der Esch play on the strong side because he's the one that's 6'5", 2 damn 40. So if anything, let him play strong, but then you introduce him to blocks and he's not playing clean. So the best thing to do is keep playing nickel, keep playing two linebackers, rotate Van Der Esch and Sean Lee.
Damn, man, you let me down. You putting me right in place right now because, yeah, if I really think about it, if you look at LVE is a strong side. Right now, we like LVE because he's playing clean right now, right?
Yeah, because he's playing clean,
Yeah.
running free. He's not really the focus. He's just dodging those backside situations. I do a film session on it, but he's dodging those backside situations. You don't want LVE dealing with some guard coming off a 3-tech hitting him square. You want guys running to him like a sort of at an angle. You don't want guys hitting him straight up. That ain't good.
No doubt, man. Vach has spoken, man. He's spoken the truth right there. I can't wait. I got to dive into the film and see what I can see with my eyes. But I appreciate you, Vach, man. Anything else you want to point out, man?
That's about it, man. I'm going to keep on listening to you, and I'm going to listen to Jesse Holly and Ari Tim can take my content. It's like they just word for word, my shit. I'm a chill.
Right.
I'm just gonna keep on listening, support, and smash that like buttons. You know what I'm saying? Drop a donation to grow the nation. I'll sit down and chat. Salute.
Man, your boy Josh Gordon about to catch one deep, man. Tom Brady launching that thing.
Just in case he go off.
Yes, indeed. Boy, you gonna have to do some film session on Josh, man. But all right, fam, salute.
Yeah, salute.
Peace. Man, that's what love is, man. NTZ representing, man. My guy from the same hometown, from the same skillet, man. Vach Lombardi breaking it down for us, man. So yeah, you still want to keep LVE clean. I didn't look at it from those parameters, but it is what it is.
Right. Right. There's a couple guys you be like, man.
Look, man, we missed a gem on Josh Gordon, man. That boy Josh Gordon, man. I just had to go repeat, man. Josh Gordon turned to NBC. I mean, the guy is gifted as any other. And although they pass interference, the New England Patriots finna score again. They about to score again. They about to score. Score 17-9 against the Kansas City Chiefs right now. They're on the 2 or something like that, second and goal. They about to score. It is what it is. I can only dream. I understand that we had the wide receivers that we have now, but that wide receiver with Josh Gordon would put us over the top, man. I'm just telling you, man. It's just what it is.
Put out there, and he showed it out. And the Hot Boys, oh my goodness, the defense is really clicking on all cylinders. And most definitely, Brett Maher, he's picking up where Dan Bailey's left off, man. So I just want to, put a little notes in, and hopefully that next week, we can pull off another great win.
877-881-1053. Anthony's in Fort Worth. Go ahead, Anthony. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Yeah, I just like to comment and I really want everybody to kind of pump the brakes on this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of season we're having. It seems like they play good when there's against teams that they're not supposed to beat, and then when there's teams that they're should be beaten, they struggle against. So I just want everybody to pump the brakes. Enjoy the win. We should, Cowboy Nation, we need to enjoy this win, but at the same time, just pump the brakes a little bit, and let's get ready to see what we do next week and make sure that Linehan and Garrett take the training wheels off of Dak and let him handle his business like a grown man.
Appreciate the phone call.
Hey, I like it. No, enjoy the win.
We got to enjoy
the win, but you're absolutely right. This team has been up and down all year long.
They haven't been up and down. They're 3-0 at home, 0-3 on the road.
Pretty even keel, right?
It's perfect, right?
Perfect for 8-8.
500.
The Jason Garrett special.
Y'all leave Jason Garrett alone,
but
man.
They do. They have to go out to Washington next week and put together another great performance so that they can get the victory and now make this victory mean even more than it does tonight. But we don't know, and that's the biggest head scratcher because you're saying, man, this team has the ability to do all of those things, but they just don't do them on a consistent basis, and that's what makes you frustrated.
877-881-1053. Jason's calling in from New Orleans.
Jason Garrett, baby.
Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Call in, Jason.
Shout out to your operator because I feel like this is a great segue because we've talked ad nauseum, especially you, Jesse, about this team being consistently inconsistent. For the first 5 weeks, we saw them basically in second gear, and today we got to see them in third, fourth, fifth gear. And we saw the foundation laid in 2016. What this team does really well. They run pass option, play action bootlegs, and screens. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. My question to you guys is, Will Lanahan stick to the 2016 formula? Or will he get too smart for his own good and try to rip up the foundation and then do something all over again? Thank you.
Appreciate the phone call.
Jason, a great phone call. But that's a question that we don't know. This has been the enigma of the Dallas Cowboys this season. The same question that you want answers to, we want answers to. And we have not gotten an answer. They go on the road, they lose. They're at home, they win. The team that they're supposed to beat, they don't beat. The team that they're not supposed to beat, they blow them out. And this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, this up and down, this good as bad, this hot and cold Cowboys team is one of the things that we are constantly scratching our heads about and pulling our hair about because we don't have answers. We don't know, and so we're starting to point fingers at what it can be, and we're trying to do the Pythagorean theory to figure this whole thing out because there is no answer. And when you are inconsistent, it leads to this kind of stuff. So, Jason, trust me, if we had the answer, I would tell you, I don't know. We don't know. We don't know what Jason's going to do next week, what Linehan's going to do next week, what Dak is going to show up next week. Think about it. This game could have went – talk about the bounce of the ball. That ball could have bounced the opposite way twice and could have been turnovers. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but it didn't happen, Jesse.
The opposite way next week. So you just don't know with this team what you're going to get consistently because of what they put out for us, especially offensively. You just don't know what you're going to get offensively from week in from we got the team.
Yeah, I mean, look, we thought this was an offense that was struggling and going to struggle, and 16.6 points per game is just awful.
New England just scored, guys.
Look, we saw a couple of weeks ago, the last home game against Detroit, their offense picked up their defense. Defense gave up 2
Kansas
touchdowns
City
in the
Chiefs
fourth quarter.
ain't
They
ready.
almost blew it, but Dak Prescott leads them down the field with Zeke, and they win the game. And
Andy
tonight
Reid.
we see more of it. Now, look, it's twice in 6 weeks, so that it remains to be seen whether or not this offense could be consistent. But at the very least, we've seen it, right? Like, so before, we hadn't even seen them have much success, and now we see what is possible with this offense in 2018. We'll hear from David Irving coming up, plus your phone
Belly
call,
Irving.
877-881-1053. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
Yeah, we get to hear from David Irving next, man. I can't wait to hear what he's going to say. Nose rings, nipple rings, everything and all. We're going to hear what David Irving had to say. Shout out to Voch Lombardi. He's saying he's back into this thing. Appreciate you guys. Go follow Voch Lombardi, V-O-C-H Lombardi. That's where the party at. So let's get this thing. Amrit, thank you for tuning in. Aru, what's good with you, man? Thank you for tuning in. Brian Sharper, thank you for tuning in. Tom Landry, Mati. Yeah, appreciate you. Curious, 112, thank you for tuning in. Can anyone argue with this guy? Who are you talking about, Curious 112? No chill. What's good? Never underestimate the stupidity of the Bengals. They will be showing right now the Texans. Texans won today, and they barely beat the Bills. And last week we can say we could have won that game. So Texans right now, everybody high on their sauce, but it's still cool. Don't get it twisted. Texans are the Texans, and they far from us right now. You know, they in the AFC, so they got their own battles to deal with. The way they playing is only high hope, only high expectations, because they going to have to answer a lot of questions as it relates to the KC of the world, the Chargers, as well as the Patriots and some other team, the Steelers and the Bengals. They got a lot of things to eat. But shout out to the Texans. I love to see Texans do well. So, Incognito, thank you for tuning in. What you got? I was hoping the Rico would get a touchdown maybe next time. Yeah, maybe Rico would have caught that ball that bounced off of the body or the arms or the hands or the fingers of, was it 89 or Swain? I think it was 89, Jarwin. Jarwin had the ball right over the shoulder. It was like right there in his mittens, and the ball bounced off. Philly Cowboys 76. He says, I love and appreciate everything you're doing for the Cowboys Nation from North Carolina. Salute, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for holding it down from North Carolina. Repping silver and blue all day, man. I really appreciate that, man. That's what we got to do. We still rep this thing. Cowboys is the top 5 or possible top 3 in defense. Right now, on scoring defense, they're number 2. Only team that's ahead of them is the quote unquote Baltimore Ravens. And one can argue who the Ravens have played yet. You know, they haven't played anybody. So shout out to us, man, on that. We could end this thing being number 1. If this defense gel together, man, it may be something medieval, man. It'll have me playing my 300 music, man. Yes, indeed. You know, you guys know how it goes when I play the 300, you know. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the bass of hits and oldies magic. We gonna get this thing going one way or another. This is your brother from another mother, no other. Don't look like Danny Glover, but I keep it cool with you guys. Bruh, we gonna get this thing going. All right, Mahomes, let's see what he gonna do. 24-9. Seems like Mahomes is folding up like a lawn chair right now. We're going to have Mahomes to step it up. Texas kid, come on, do the thing now. Don't let them people punk you out there in New England. Don't let them flag whoop you either. So I can't wait to hear this next interview. Law, the Dallas Cowboys offensive line ranked number 2 in the NFL. This is from Slot Skin. I'm telling you, this guy is a statistician. You know, I took statistics in college. I weaseled my way through there. I managed to pass that class. But look, I don't know what your major is. I don't know what college you went to, but you need to do that some way, one way or another. I'm an econ major, so you know how that go, right? Did a lot of statistics, and you be on the money, man, with it. Whether you're Google Fingers or just knowledge of the game is good, man. I really appreciate you with all the knowledge, man. Putting it in the chat box. Oh, Perry Locke said, "Long, nothing but love." Good week, Ohio. Love this. Yes, we listening to everything that we can find about Cowboys right now. Let's grow this nation. Let's grow. Subscribe. Share this content. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Share. That's the best thing you can do for me. Share this content. I want y'all to blast Shannon Sharp feed. Blast Skip Bayless feed. Blast anybody feed that hate the Cowboys. Blast them with Cowboys content. That's what we got to do. Yes, indeed. Let's see what they're talking about now. They back from their commercial break.
And then it was only outdone by Jordan Lewis's ridiculous attempt to stay in bounds and recover the fumble, which he did. Impressive game. Impressive
J. Lou.
Johnny on the spot, Jordan Lewis. That's 2 weeks in a row he recovered a fumble.
But that's what good players, they have a nose for the football. They're around the ball. They're making plays, diving for the ball. I mean, that was a highly athletic play by Jordan Lewis.
But that's what great defenses do, right? You have guys who are athletic. You have 12. You have 11 guys. It feels like 12 guys.
12.
It feels like
they played with 24 today.
Exactly. When you have that type of aggressive defense and guys are running to the football, getting there aggressively with bad intentions, good things happen for you. Jalen Smith got there, stripped the ball out, and now when you have guys who are not loafing but rallying to the football to try to help their guys out, you walk into plays like that, and that's how you take a good defense. When you look at those Baltimore Ravens defenses and those Pittsburgh Steelers, those type of defenses, they play fast and they play physical and they get 11 guys to the football, and that's how you create turnovers.
877-881-1053. Daniel is calling in from Grand Prairie. Go ahead, Daniel. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Hi, guys. Hey, congratulations on the big win for the Cowboys. My question is, with the NFL draft deadline approaching, do you see the team...
Trade. Draft is over.
Trade deadline. Yes.
That Mahomes on.
You see
My
the
God.
Cowboys picking up a couple of offensive player or two, like a veteran tight end or another wide receiver or something like that.
Appreciate the phone call, Daniel. I asked this during the game to Jesse Holley. I said, go make a trade for Demaryius Thomas. Demaryius Thomas, look, he's in his 30s, and he's going to make $17 million against the cap next year. Here's the good news, though. He's going to be cut by the Broncos because it's only $3.3 million as a cap hit if you cut him before the league year starts next year. So call up Denver. Hey, we have a 6th-round pick for you. I mean, Demaryius Thomas is a guy that's put up at least 900 yards with a mess at quarterback with the Denver Broncos. So I'm normally not the make a trade at trade deadline guy because it's very difficult, especially in a sport like football that it demands cohesion, to bring in a guy at the trade deadline and have him make an impact. But Demaryius Thomas is a guy that seems to be available and could be a difference maker, and it's a low risk potential even if you trade a late round pick for him and he's a 1-year rental.
Now when you asked me that question, what was my response? You remember?
No. I mean, basically your response was no.
I said, and do what with him? You trade for him and then do what with him? Because you're telling me.
Throw him the ball? Put him at the X?
We don't throw the guys that we have the ball here now.
Come on, Jesse. Come on,
another
Jesse.
Receiver to the mix. And here's the thing. Before this game.
I'm going to let you make it.
Go get Demaryius Thomas.
Before this game started today, there was not one Cowboy receiver in 5 weeks of football. Hear me, Ari. There wasn't one receiver that is
Pat
getting
Mahomes
paid by the Dallas Cowboys
right now.
after 5 weeks of work who had over 200 yards.
Ooh, that Pat Mahomes.
Leaving this game, there's only one receiver that is getting paid by the Dallas Cowboys who has over 200 yards.
Cole Beasley.
Before this game started, after 5 games, your quarterback had 961 total passing yards. Now, I went to North Carolina, and I'm not the greatest person in math. But after 5 games, if you simply average 200 yards in a passing league,
yes,
this is a passing league.
You're going to have more than
200 yards.
Let me just hush Jesse right quick. Let me just tell you guys. Let me educate you guys. Deontay Thompson, when was he drafted? He was never drafted. He was undrafted. Allen Hurns, when was he drafted? And then I told everybody before the game, before the year started, that, hey, Allen Hurns plays the same position that Cole Beasley is playing. So you move him to the outside. We saw the inefficiencies of Allen Hurns. So he was undrafted too. And then on top of that, if you throw in the fact that, yes, one can argue the fact that T. Will is our guy that we drafted. Trust me, he's not out there. He got a broken foot, for crying out loud. He's IR, and he didn't beat out those guys. So, of course, you're not going to have these gothy numbers that anybody have out there in the league right now. The only person that's making plays was Cole Beasley. And guess what? He's undrafted. So if you look at everything from a different view of things with these wide receivers not making excuses, but I can finally say it now since we won, is that we don't really have any playmakers as wide receivers. You put this same core of receivers on any other 31 other teams out there, then let me know what would they be playing. They'd be average at best as your 3rd or 4th guy. None of these guys are your second. It would look like it's going to be picked off. It's picked off. Pat Mahomes did his deal, but it's picked off. But it is what it is, guys. Let's not try to say this wide receiving core is the best thing since sliced bread. Of course, one can argue the fact that Tavon Austin is a first-round draft pick, but we already know that he was utilized as a gadget type of guy, and then he was also guarded as one of the running backs on the team. So he's not even as the actual wide receiver. So let's speak with facts opposed to just speaking with emotions.
Dak is still missing a lot of receivers.
Come on, man. What is this dude talking about?
A lot of open guys, and I'm thinking he's having a confidence or a mental issue with his play this year. What do you guys think?
Thank you for the call, Daniel. Dak Prescott, 17 of 27, 183 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is a quarterback rating of 94.7 and a passer rating of 107. He also added 11 carries for 82 yards and a touchdown. So
see, even in today,
he was still at 200. But he had 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns, including 82 yards to the ground.
Even in a 40, okay, stop.
He passed the ball well, though, did he not?
No, he did. And I'm not taking that away from him. He passed the ball well today. He hit some receivers.
He did miss Tavon Austin. He missed a couple. He had Tavon open early down the field.
Oh, man, come on, man. Hold on, man. He didn't miss Tavon Austin.
He was back there, but if you put it on him, that's a catch that he should be making in the National Football League. But even in a 40-point dominant win, if I told you that Kansas City...
Let me go back to the Tavon Austin play. That Tavon Austin play, it was one of those things where you got a speedy receiver. You're playing against Jalen Ramsey. The worst thing that you can ever do against Jalen Ramsey versus Tavon Austin, Jalen Ramsey got like 4 or 5 inches on this guy. Believe it or not, the best thing that you can do is overthrow Tavon Austin on that particular route. On top of that, you never know what gear, what speed a 4.3 guy like Tavon Austin can do. So you always want to throw the ball a little bit over and see whether or not the wide receiver can get underneath the ball. To me personally, on that particular play, he lost track of the ball and he just couldn't find the ball out in space. It wasn't overthrown by a large margin of plays. So Tavon Austin could have burned Ramsey, and it would have been like a whole different story. And then think about this, the Michael Gallup catch, if he'd get his 2 feet down, we would be talking about a totally different game. I'm going to keep this thing positive one way or another, nation. You guys know how I get down. I get knee deep into this thing. Let's go.
To get in the shootout with the team. Does this quarterback have the ability to do so? Because even in a 33-point blowout, he had under 200 yards passing.
You don't need hold
Marius.
Oh my goodness.
Do not look. Demaryius Thompson, he's nasty in a sense, but come on, man, come on. For me, I would rather just give a phone call to Dez Bryant and bring him back. Then on top of that, you understand that yes, he had less than 200 yards, but he put 84 yards with his legs. Don't discount the legs, man. Them legs was running out there. Those legs was everything for the nation. Don't let these guys mess y'all up with this football talk. But it is what it is. I'm just telling you guys the truth. I ain't going to give it to you. So after enjoying a delicious they go on commercial break. But I'm not going to give it to you wrong. You mean to tell me you're going to discount the 84 yards he ran with his legs because he didn't hit a certain number with his passing? Come on now. I don't like the way this conversation is going. It's getting me mad and upset. Look, the guy played his you-know-what off. You mean to tell me if you get 80-some yards, of course, if it was 100 yards, everybody from the national media would be like, hey, he ran 100 yards, plus he threw 189 yards, whatever passing. But you can win the game. There's more than one ways to skin this cat, and they was doing that out there. Look, Tavon Austin, look, when you got a speedy receiver, Tyreek Hill, there's no such thing as overthrowing that guy when he can get underneath. And you got to put – I'm not saying that Tavon Austin got the speed of Tyreek because there's no near close to it, or the Randy Moss of the world. But those speedy receivers, you got to put a little ball over them so they can get up underneath the ball. That's just the bottom line. If they're a speed guy, he's 5'8". Jalen Ramsey, somebody put Jalen Ramsey height into the chat box. Let me know how tall Jalen Ramsey is, because you definitely don't want to underthrow that ball, and you definitely don't want to even that ball, because there's no window that you can really say to yourself and say, okay, this guy's going to out-muscle and out-grab a ball from Jalen Ramsey. We saw Jalen Ramsey snatch the ball from Allen Hurns. Allen Hurns is 6'2", 6'3" on the depth chart, but he's 6'2 and a half. And we saw Jalen Ramsey just manned up on the side of the edge. He just so happened to have one of the foot, because I'm going to definitely try to do that film breakdown. Jalen Ramsey is my man out there. He did his job off of Allen Hurns. So you think about that. You just can't just pass a ball, any type of ball, to little small Tavon Austin. He's 5'8", give or take. And that's me being generous. Come on now. Savage Time, shout out and salute to you, man. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. Look, man, I'm just calling you guys for what it is, man. Yeah. Yes, indeed, man. That's just crazy, man. Talking about he overthrew Tavon Austin when the guy run a 4.3, and he had to step on Jalen Ramsey. Come on now. Jalen Ramsey's 6'1". So you want to throw an even pass to 6'1" versus a 5'10"? 5'10" is being generous. That's being very nice. Tavon Austin is 5'7", 5'8", give or take. If you guys see him live in person, you be like, oh, hey, you play Cowboys. You play wide receiver for the Cowboys? You know, it is what it is, man. Lena, thank you for tuning in to the nation. Appreciate you. We locked, loaded, live, lit, ready for to get this thing going. Shout out to you, Dre Taylor. Dak won the game today. That's it. That's final. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we need to talk about. How he won the game, how he methodically moved the ball down the field with not just his arm and his legs. They try to discount the aspect that he was running the ball with his legs. I posted the video on Facebook.com right early before the game. When you utilize Dak Prescott with his legs, running the ball with his legs, we find ways to win the game. That's what it is. When you have the one-on-one, the man-to-man, and you utilizing those legs, that's everything. Everything that you need to do. Jesse's still bitter by the Romo situation. Yeah, I saw the tweet that Jesse tweeted out earlier this week about, these girls were twerking, and he said this is when Tony Romo twerked and this is when Dak Prescott twerked. It was kind of crass to me because you got to look at it from the aspect is that these are two different players. Tony Romo is a natural thrower of the ball, but he took him a minute to get to those techniques of throwing the ball, launching the ball down the field, and doing his thing right there. But it is what it is. You can win games in the NFL more than just throwing the ball. You can utilize your legs, utilize the full weaponries of your arsenal. And that's how we was able to win today. And I love it because if we continue to play like this, if we don't play look, Texans in the game before that, we still kind of held Dak Prescott back. One can argue the fact that the last time that we used Dak Prescott in the way that we should have was against the Giants. So, with that being said, guys, we got to continue to utilize Dak Prescott in these factors. We cannot play scared and talk about what if he get hurt. The guy's built for this. He's built for this. Remind me of a video that I watched, a show with Will Smith, and I think it was the robot, iRobot, when Will Smith and the robot was just smarter than all of the other robots, and he had this extra coating of armor on him, and he was able to reach in through this little protective deal because the nanobites wasn't able to eat away his flesh, and he was able to grab that scepter and pull it out, and he was able to kill the massive of the other robots because he was built for that. That's what Dak Prescott, he's built for this running this thing with Dak Prescott. It is what it is. Shout out to y'all. Let me see what they got saying right here.
They came out, the Cowboys were the aggressor on offense and on defense. They executed better. They protected the ball better. They held the ball better. They scored more points. They did everything. There wasn't a phase of the game that the Cowboys did not dominate today. Their kicker was better. Their punter was better. All right? Their training staff was better. Their concession stand people were better. Security was better. The bus drivers were better. Everything that the Cowboys were today was better than what the Jacksonville Jaguars were.
I mean, the bus driver might get lost for Jacksonville on the way to the airport.
And it's right down the street. It's not too far from here.
877-881-1053. You can also tweet us. Jesse Holly is at Mr. Fourth Along. I am at RE Sports. Armando is calling in from Odessa. Go ahead, Armando. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Yes, sir. How's it going, guys?
What's going on?
I just wanted to say, I wanted to sing the praises of the safeties. I mean, early on, y'all were talking about trades. It's not talking about safeties no more. It's talking about receivers and other positions. I think our safeties are doing pretty well. See what you guys' thoughts are on that.
Well, look, I think we knew going into this game that both offenses were going to struggle. Blake Bortles isn't the most prolific passer in the NFL. Obviously, the Cowboys vastly outperformed what we expected on offense, but look, credit the Cowboys defense has been consistent all year, but it helps when you've got a guy like Blake Bortles I think he's been underrated to a certain degree, but this year he's been bad. He's been bad, except with the exception of a few games. He's just throwing a lot of picks. He's very inaccurate. So, yeah, credit to the defense, but they're also playing Blake Bortles this week.
Jeff Heath, who is a good player. Jeff Heath's a good player. And the reason why he starts for this team is because he knows where to line up. He knows how to get guys involved. He's a heck of a tackler. He's not your most athletic safety. He's not that guy. No. But he is not the reason that you're losing, and he makes timely plays. He makes plays when you think no one's going to make the play. Here comes Jeff Heath for a save-the-day hero play. I don't know if the safety position is safe, is good. What helps those guys on the back end is that they have the ability to they're coupled with a good front seven, especially that DeMarcus Lawrence and Crawford and Gregory and all those guys. So they're not having to cover deep routes. Because in order for the ball to get to the safeties' perspective and to their area, that's a 5 or 7 step drop. Now, coverages have been blown, and we saw that against Seattle. We saw that against Detroit Lions. They've blown some coverages. They've definitely done that. But when they play well, it's because they are coupled with a really good front seven who's getting after the quarterback and not allowing the quarterback to sit back there for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds and takes 5 and 7 step drops and deliver the ball deep down the field.
877-881-1053. Is this the Cowboys mascot, Rowdy, calling in from Marshall? Go ahead, Rowdy. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
No, it's actually Robbie, R-O-B-B-E-Y, but thanks for the shout-out.
Go ahead, Robbie.
I think it's a good day when I can call in, and the only 2 things I want to gripe about is if you're going to put in your backup quarterback with 4 minutes to go and a 30-point lead, why not let him throw the ball a few times to get some, experience, some game action? What if he has to come in the middle of a real game? Don't you want him to be able to think, well, hey, I went 4 of 7 against Jacksonville for 50 yards? Just a thought.
Appreciate the phone call. I mean, I'd say no, only because, game experience, sure, is game experience, but, if you're the backup quarterback and you're coming in mop-up time, it's just not the same mentality psychologically as, well, now you're being thrust into a close game. There's just a way to supplement those 2 things. You can't lie to yourself as a professional athlete and be like, yeah, I mean, I'm out there taking important snaps here up by 30-some points.
It's something more simple as that. Every time you throw a pass, there is the option of it being incomplete. What does that mean?
Stops the clock.
Stop the clock. No, we want to get out of here. We're up 30. Let's just run it out. Every time I run and I stay in bounds, the clock continues to run unless the team takes a timeout. But if I go back there and I throw a pass, and being that I'm going with the backup quarterback, more than likely it's probably going to be an incomplete pass. The clock stops, and now we're dragging this game out far longer than we want it to be here. And we're already up 30. There's no need to rub it in. What are we passing it for? I want to keep the clock running. There's no need for me to drop back and pass the ball anywhere. Hand the ball off. Get 3 yards in a pile of dust. Keep tick, 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 tick. I want to go home. I want to go home and be with my family and have,
I want to move on with my life.
Yeah, I want to go home.
I don't want to see Cooper Rush throwing incompletions in a 33-point game because you think it might help you.
All right, guys. This is what I'm going to do, man.
We're trying to beat the rain. The rain's getting ready to come. We're trying to beat the rain. I don't want to have
really appreciate everybody for tuning in to the
Cooper
nation.
Rush throwing passes in the clock.
So far, man, this is a wonderful, glorious win. I try to ride this thing out, but I've been talking to you guys for over 4 hours plus. I just want to go with the crown and the mantle of that. Nobody works harder than the Law Nation, right? I work hard for you guys, right? So with that being said, man, don't forget to hit that like button, share this content, subscribe to the channel. There is a 105.3 The Fan. You can go to the radio.com app and you can continue to listen to these guys talk. But I got a lot of things to do. I got to, tomorrow, Victory Monday. I got to strive in. I might put on my Dallas Cowboys bow tie. We're going to do this thing. Shout out to Elite Rob. Thank everybody for being into this channel for a long time. I really appreciate that. And you guys just don't know, man. Let me just go ahead and get this thing going one way or another. It is what it is, guys. Especially, let's go, man. Let's go with this thing, man. Let's get crunk. Yeah, we're going to get crunk with this thing. Yeah, let me go right here. Right here. And let's go. Yeah. I'm going to go eat something, man. Yeah, you guys know. Yeah. Let's go with it, man. Yeah, let's roll with it. Let's go. Cowboys Nation, we won. Put the W up. West side all day. South side. Cowboys Nation, let's go with this thing, baby. Yeah. Salute. Let's get this thing going. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's go. We live like 95. We're going to get this thing going one way or another. Yeah. Cowboys Nation. Yeah, let's roll with it. Let me see those emojis, man. See that fire. Let's go. Good night. Yeah. Yeah. Come on, Cowboys. Rise up. Let's go. Let me see those fire emojis, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Hey, if you ain't live, you ain't lit. Let's get this thing going one way or another. Share this content. Subscribe to the channel. You guys know. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best of hits and the oldies. Law Nation, let's roll with this thing. Let's grow this thing. Desmond, thank you for making a donation to help grow the nation. Yes, we live in this thing. Let's roll. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best of Law Nation. Salute.